Okay. Go in. No, go for it. If they can close it. We keep going through a whole host of all these apps. Hold on, let me let people in, and then maybe they all might want to know anyway. Good point. Do you have a special request? Hi guys. Oh, Blast, you're there again. Oh, you can't hear me. Hold on, let me connect with the other computer too.
Why?
I know. He's abandoning us. Blast. She came in the other day online. And then Susie tried to connect yesterday to the class, so she must have her days wrong. Hold on, I can't connect to this one. Hi guys, I'll be with you shortly. I'm trying to open the second computer.
So, what am I trying to do here?
I can tell Barbara's in the room. Okay, stay co-host. There we go. All right. All right, so how are you guys? Hi, Rodney. Hi, Barbara. Hi, Marta and Blas.
Hi.
Sue. And
Hi.
All right. We've gotten accustomed to not having Marta here, but 2 days of no Blas. What's happening? Our foundations are moving, are jiggling. Anyway, hey, you guys. Who else just joined us? Hi, Julie.
Hi.
All right. So let me bring this down. Okay. Here we go. All right, we're all connected and set to go. You guys can hear me well.
Yes.
Cameras are back
Yes.
to normal. No, this one is showing. Wait, both cameras are showing me. And one of the cameras is supposed to be showing the classroom. Let me see. There we go. Why is it out of focus? Do not blur. There we go. All right. Can everyone see? It seems almost like it's out of focus or something.
You're in focus.
No, I am, but the one that shows the classroom is out of focus. It's kind of weird.
Diana?
Anyway, let me keep letting people in. Who else is joining us now? Hi, Yolanda.
Blas is trying to fix his audio.
Okay, and hi, Mary Jean. There's Blas again.
Itch.
Yeah, look at you guys in the background camera. You're out of focus, but I don't know how to change that.
Yeah, she saw me. I said, I waved. It's fine.
That is so weird. I'm gonna have to ask for tech support. But I mean, you guys have an idea of who's here anyway, but I'm surprised
It was a little.
that that it's so out of focus. Move it over that way. All right, here comes Linda.
She shows the classroom too.
All right, someone's talking in the background. I don't know who it is, but just in case, I'm gonna mute the people who are lightening up as if it's them, even though it might be someone else. Sometimes when you talk for a while, I can tell because your person lights up, but sometimes I just hear noises and I can't really tell exactly who it came from. And then I just kind of mute a few people. So if you're trying to talk to me and I say you're muted, I might have muted you if I was hearing noises in that area. Okay, so Marta and Blas, you guys are both here twice, so you're probably in on your phones or something else. Let me see. Mary Jean, hi, Linda. And I think I've said hello to everyone else, and I've said hello to everyone who's here, which is less of us today. There's nothing special happening today. Why are people missing? I don't know. It's not a rainy day. I know they're out having a party. Okay, So, welcome back. Back to Mac level 2. We're going to keep exploring all of our apps that come with our devices and how to connect to them. So, what's that? Josie sometimes is online when she's not here, but she's on neither one right now, so she might just be missing. I have to admit that I didn't check email the last hour and a half, so sometimes people let me know at the last minute, and I haven't checked. I guess I could check right now to see if anyone's let me know about something. But I'm checking, and no one is telling me anything, so I guess they're just not here. Okay, so let's head over to the chat, everyone. If you haven't yet, give me a little hey ho in the chat. And I'm going to put participants over there. And I'm going to say good afternoon. All right, so head over to the chat and give me a hello. Okay, got it. Thank you, Linda. All right. So some people are chit-chatting here and laughing. I'm not sure what's going on. I feel talked about. Oh, the Zoom chat. No. I just wanted to mention the class that comes after this, Living the iLife, is online only. And for those of you who are here in person, if you want to review how to go online, this might be a good time. How to take a class online. It might be a good time to turn on the computers, for those of you who bring your laptops at least, to turn on your computers and join the class on Zoom as well, so that you can figure out how that's going to work. In your case, but if that's that's good for Maud because she's using her own computer. But in your case, Gigi, you're using the computer as your computer. Well, at home you have an iPad. So the good thing would be, in fact, to have your iPad. That would be how you would do it at home. You would join the Zoom on your iPad, right? And watch me. And then you would join the Zoom as well on your computer, so that if you need to share your screen for help, you could do that. But basically you would just use the screen empty. You would minimize Zoom out of the way. You would use your computer just to use it, and the class would be viewed through iPad. Does that make sense? Okay. You would have it on both, yeah. So if you want to try right now, zooming, connecting to this one, so you'll see how to maybe minimize it when you're on. And Maud, that'll be a bit different for you, because at home you only have your Mac, right? You don't have an iPad. Yeah. So for you at home, you'll have to connect from your computer and use your computer for the Zoom, and at the same time for the class. So it would be a good idea for you to connect to Zoom. Now, by the way, do not connect to audio, because since I have Zoom running right now, if you connect to audio, it won't work. So the audio over here, which says iMac, click on that, and then say no audio. Yeah, and then say join. What's that? Yeah, I told you to do that first, and then I thought, wait a minute, you're practicing for how to do it at home. So in reality, you should practice doing it on your computer. Click on the link that everyone has. When it says connect to audio, say no, but if you need to, we'll work on that. And I'll help you figure out how to have me on the screen at the same time as the class. And I don't know, Phil, if you want to practice that, you might know how to do that. I don't know. And Carol, you've taken some classes. I know you don't like it, which is why you're here, but you've taken some online courses, right? Some on Zoom? Yeah. You've been. Yeah. So if you want to practice doing Zoom and computer at the same time here, you can do that as well, so that I can help you figure out how to do that. Because when you have only one desktop, one screen, then you have to have me kind of small in the corner demoing the stuff while you use the computer, most of the computer, to actually do the work. So I just let you in. Okay. All right, so today we have a couple of people online that are actually here in the room. And I'm starting to prepare you for that. Normally that class gets filled very quickly, but I haven't really talked to anyone about it, because the thing is that most people don't know about the class until I tell them about it. And so it's usually you guys, the Mac people, because who's going to sign up to a class that is meaningless? Now, here's the point. I have 23 people in it already and it's capped at 25. Before, if you wanted to take it, I would just sign you in and then I'd end up with a 27 or something like that, which is then brings itself down naturally to 22, 25 because people who don't come. But now they're not allowing me to sign you up early. No, I don't sign you up. If I sign your paper and you turn it in, they say we can't sign you up until it begins. But that's depending on who gets your paper. Like if you try to sign up right now in person, 2 more people can do it right now. And by the way, in case you haven't done it yet, here's the CRN for Living the iLife is the name of the class, which is all about your photos and videos and how to handle them, take care of them, organize them, work with them on your computer and on your phone and on your iPad, I guess the same. So if you want to sign up for that and you sign up soon, 2 of you will have no problem. And then when you hit 25, it'll say full. And anyone who wants to sign up after that, you need to email me. I'll send you back a form that's signed. You can submit it, but if they don't sign you up immediately, then you have to wait until the day the class starts to submit it. Then they'll let you in. Does that make sense? But you need to let me know and I'll still send you the email, the Zoom, so that you can come in even though you're not in for the first day. Got it? And that's going to happen. Basically, we have Mac level 2 today and next week and Monday. And then the following, right after that finishes, the iLife starts. So it's basically the same schedule as this class, only it finishes half an hour later at 4:45. Okay. And that starts, give me a second when I look at the calendar. It starts Wednesday the 5th. So we have 4 more of these classes. We have Wednesday, which is today, Monday, Wednesday, Monday of Mac level 2. And then Wednesday is the first one of Living the iLife. Okay. So anyway, and I guess I could pull up the roster if people want to know if they're signed up, but if you need that, let me know. Otherwise I'll let me see, can I put up the roster right now? Let me give it a quick try to show you the roster to see if you're signed up for it or not. Okay, give me a second. Okay, classic rosters, Living the iLife. Here we go. Okay, let me share my screen. Here's the roster. And it has 2 pages, so I'm gonna scroll up and down. That seems to work. So if your name is here, I'll have to make it bigger and then I'll show you the second page. Okay, here it comes. Okay, so if you see your name up here, your name starts with something after S. I'll show the second part in a second. But right now, everyone check. Most of you are people who are in this class, but I'm seeing already 5 or 6 names that aren't in this class. That means that if you want to take it, I can't see who's not, I can see who's in. And I'm seeing people who have signed up but haven't been taking these classes. Okay, and here's the next after the S. It's Sujin, Angie, and Barbara. Okay, so I'm going to email everyone letting them know the class is starting, but I do that the week before it starts. And then some of those people might go, oh, I'm not planning to take it, and there might be some open spots, but they might be there until the class starts, and then I have to drop them if they don't come. So basically, for those of you who want to take the class, and don't have a spot right now, as I said, there's 25 spots, so there's still a place for 2. After that, it's not going to be a problem per se, just that I'm going to have to sign you in. You need to let me know. I'll send you the Zoom link and you'll sign in the day of that day instead of early, which is crazy. And what happens is people who want to take the class who are not in my classes now, they just see it as full and they just turn away because they don't know what to tell me. I want to take your class, but I can't sign up until that day. Send me the Zoom link. All of that only works for people who are in my classes, which is so counterproductive. But anyway, no matter. No matter. I mean, we're talking about it and I'm dealing with it, but right now there's nothing else I can do other than warn you. And here we go. Okay, so, last class, the first class, we spent a lot of time trying to figure out accounts. Maud, do you need a hand? Give me a second, guys. I'm gonna go and help Maud because she needs help with the Zoom. Well, you need to connect here, so go to Gmail here, scroll down a bit more to Gmail. And then go to that Zoom link. And click on that. Yeah, that link. And it's okay, that's what we're practicing, and then join from here. I think you didn't click it. Try again, put the mouse in the middle. Hey, Josie. I think somehow you're clicking deep, just do a regular click or use your, yeah, there you go. So did not open. Please download and install the app. Okay, which you should in your computer anyway. Install the Zoom app and then it's not an issue. Okay. That's what it was. No, that's Zoom for meeting. That's a whole different app. Okay. So now let's go to your downloads and install Zoom. So you might want to go and get rid of that other one.
That's what I've been trying to work on. No wonder it doesn't work. It's the wrong thing.
Yeah, it's okay. So use your computer password. Or put your finger, whatever you do. Okay, it's either a gentle touch or nothing, or write it in. It's your computer, the one that you use to open your. So do you not have the finger set up? It's okay, just click on what we use it when you open up this computer, this whatever you write normally. All right. Oh, that's fine. And see how now the installers, they ask you, do you just want to move the installer trash? Remember the banana peel? Before they wouldn't ask you. They said, do you want to move the installer? So you say, yeah, move it to the trash. Remember when I explained how when you install an app, it's like it stays hanging out unless you move it to the trash? So it did it for you. Okay, so now you can go back here and now it'll open in the right Zoom app. Okay, so click on that. And now say allow. We're going to do this every day.
This will stay. I haven't said the class at 3, but I'm sorry.
It's a pen. Go ahead and click again. It's it because it wasn't completely done installing. Yeah, go ahead and type in. Sorry guys, I'm just helping for a minute here because Maud doesn't have Zoom installed on her computer and I'm figuring out, showing her how to do it. Okay, so now you can go back. Well, so that's weird. Why is it trying to use the workplace app? That's the weird one. Okay, let me go back to the email now and click it again. That's the one. See how it's opening up? Give it a second. Well, we'll have to get rid of that app then because it's not. Yeah, so you know what? Let's do a student break. I need to figure out what's happening. But this, at least it's working.
Yeah.
Okay. The session was successful. And I'm going to turn off the sound so that, and then say join. Okay, so now I'm going to go let you in. Okay. Sorry about that. She had, when you guys install Zoom on your computer, and those of you at home already know it, obviously, but there's a workplace app, Zoom, web, whatever, which is not the one. You have to have the regular Zoom. And so she had the wrong one, so I was having to help her. Okay. Hi, Josie. Thanks for joining us. All right, guys, are we ready to go? Thank you for chatting while I was helping. Now it's time to get going. All right. So, and I'm going to walk out there and help you a bit with your computer, Maud. But for now, just stop looking at your computer. Just let's focus on me. And then when I say, okay, go do it, Remind me, if not, someone else remind me to walk over and help you figure out how to do it with Zoom. But for now, I want to get going with the whole group. And also, Jackie, you joined us for a little bit, a little while ago, and I hadn't say hi. So hi, Jackie. All right. And Kristen, I believe I hadn't greeted you. So there you go. Lots of new faces, or late coming, not new to us, but to the moment's faces. All right, so we were talking, we spent the first day connecting all our accounts, and hopefully by now the rest of you have been connecting your accounts. And as I said, as long as you have your pipeline one, that's all right, but you might consider connecting the rest. We have 4 more days of this to learn how it works all together. And then you can decide with a stroke of a button to turn it off if you'd rather keep doing things the way you used to do them. So I'm just showing you the way it works if you use the whole Mac ecosystem, let's call it. The second day, we worked a bit on seeing a few examples. I demoed one, and then we all went through a whole process of how all of these apps connect from your computer through all their apps to the same thing on the phone. All their apps, those of you who have iPads, hopefully did the same thing on your iPads and saw that it all works in conjunction. So now we're going to begin to explore each one of these apps individually and then see how they connect to the others. But we're going to begin to learn how to use them. I always start with the computer and then we move to the phone. So occasionally, if I've already been on the phone, I might segue to another one on the phone. But I'm well aware that there, more than normal, there's 3 people who don't have iPhones in this class now. So for those of you who, for the portion when I'm on the phone, go and see if you can find a parallel solution on your Android with the Android tools or things like that, because ultimately it's not going to work like this internal ecosystem the way this does. But just so you know, you could download, if you had a PC, you could use the iCloud from a PC. But it's a bit of a stretch on an Android to go in to use your iCloud through the device. Like it doesn't, you know, if you have an Android, stick to the Android stuff and use what you can of the cloud, because they don't have, there's no way to install the Mac Contacts app on the Android or the Mac Mail app on the Android, as opposed to there is a way to install Gmail on the iPhone. There isn't, you know what I'm trying to say? It's not reciprocal. It's one way down that lane. So on the phone, on the iPhone, you can use all the devices. On the Android, they're like, no Mac stuff. So that's you. Yes, Julie?
The last session, you know, the last term when you were teaching, and I followed along because I have an Android. When I'm in a doctor's office and they say, can you come October 15th? I write it on my phone. I get home and it's on my Mac computer on the calendar.
Why? Because on your Mac computer, you're installed your Gmail app, which is exactly the point I'm trying to make. Thank you. If you install all your accounts in your Mac computer through the internet accounts, you will see on the Mac the stuff that you do on your Android. You won't see on your Android the stuff that you do on your Mac if you're doing like in only the iCloud account. But if you did it in your Gmail account, you'll see it on your Android. Thank you for saying that. Does that make sense, you guys? I've been telling you, put in your Gmails, put in your AOLs, put in your stuff, because whatever you do on your phone, okay, that was a nasty, oh, thank you. That was it banged, it really. Thank you. Thank you, Gigi. Why did that? Sorry, you guys, you didn't see, but we had a pretty flying phone for a while there. My phone just blew away. Okay. Yikes. Okay. I picked it up. I have this thing to connect it. Never mind. The whole point is all is good. Thank you. The beginning. Oh, the screen is falling again. They're going to change this arm. Oh, okay. Give me a second. I have my Allen wrench. God, didn't I leave it here? My Allen wrench. My monitor is falling on its head. Sorry, guys. They said they're going to change the arm, but yeah. Hold it there. Here I am thinking, got it. It's okay, as long as it doesn't fall on its face. Got the Allen wrenches here that I had to beg for. Okay. No. But then again, we changed nothing in the other labs forever. So of course, everything was set. This time, everything is still flopping sideways, but it's not flopping forwards at least. Okay, they said they're gonna change the arm. They're gonna put a new one because it shouldn't be happening anyway. All right, you guys don't know what happened. Maybe you saw the camera fall. Maybe you started seeing the keyboard. I don't know. But the one where you see me, this computer was falling flat on its face. There's always an adventure. We should write down what happened today. Yeah. Okay. Annoyance. Yeah, depending on your point of view, right? Okay, so what I was saying, okay, just to round it out, thank you, Julie, who is one of the first students I've had for a while who consistently has an iPhone and a Mac, and sorry, an Android and a Mac. And so she's the guinea pig of these things because every time there's a new student who comes and goes, but she keeps coming back and she's mastered the system now of how to have one work for both. All right. So let me share my screen, and just to clarify in case you missed a little bit what we're talking about, and this is just a mini review, so I'm not going to spend time on it. It's up to you to do this with the recordings if you didn't do it yet. But the idea is you go to your settings and your computer, I'm sharing my computer, and you scroll down to internet accounts, and you put in here all of your accounts, no matter if they are Mac, Google, AOL, Hotmail, whatever they are. You just click on add account and you put in whatever account it might be. And let me add that when you click on add account, you don't go to add another account. If it's an iCloud or a Microsoft or a Google or a Yahoo or you use those buttons and then it's automatic. If it's something else, then you go to add another account like Cox. But like Hotmail falls under Microsoft Exchange. I believe there's another one that's also a Microsoft one. I out of my mind right now which one it is. But that tends to cover what most people use. And if you have like a proprietary one from your job, like you work at, I don't know, target.com and your email is carol@target or something like that, that's where you would go to add another account. You know what I mean? And then you would put it in that way. Okay. And once they're all in here, and now this is what Julie was saying, if you go to your phone that does not have those accounts set up, then on the one hand, you can't use the contacts and stuff of the iPhone. You would have to go into either account like you would on an Android. If you have an iPhone, don't do that. Set those same accounts up in the system settings of your phone, right? And then you use everything through the mail app, the contacts app, the calendar. You just basically in the Mac calendar, you can see your appointments from your Pipeline, your Google, your AOL, your whatever, as long as you use as long as you set up the accounts. Otherwise, you're constantly going to have to be going to your Gmail app and separately from your I don't even know. I think it's Gmail calendar. I don't know what the app for the Gmail calendar is named or something. But the whole point is that if you have to do that because you have an Android, and in the Android you put in your appointment for the dentist, and in your Android you put in that contact, as long as you can read them through your Mac, when you come home to your computer, as Julie does, she sees the appointment on her Mac calendar app, on her Mac contacts app, on her Mac mail app. Does that make sense, you guys? So definitely the intent is for iPhone users to, of course, use the Mac apps, but for Android users to connect on the device that you own, that's Apple, your account. Okay. And in this case, for most of you, it's your computer. Sometimes I get a Mac computer, a PC computer user, like Phil was a bit earlier, but they have an iPhone. So it's the other way around. Well, he doesn't, but like he's a PC user. He just bought a Mac to be in this class. But some people do come with PCs and have an iPhone. That would be my husband. He has a PC and he uses an iPhone. That's a very typical configuration. They might not think of taking a Mac class though, but some people do. They come here and then they learn how to do the reverse thing, right? But right now we only have the Mac owner computers with maybe not iPhones. So depending on who's here, I'll address that situation. Okay, yeah. On your iPad, it's like the iPhone that you need to go and look for your mail app. Remember how on the phone? So whenever we demo how things are on the Mac or on the phone, always on the iPad, it's like the phone. Okay. So in case you don't remember how to do that, let me give a quick reminder of how you would do that on the phone. Let me stop this share and start my phone share for a second. So this is the exact same thing I just demoed, but on the phone. Let me share that screen. Okay. And so on the phone, you would go to settings. And when you go to settings, you don't find internet accounts here. It doesn't exist. So if you're on an iPad, the same, it won't exist. So what you need to go to the apps and then search for mail. Okay, so that was the only difference. So remember, I took you to the ed. Then when you click on the word mail, then you have the mail accounts. But the thing is that as long as you add the account, it doesn't just include mail, it includes whatever's turned on. So now we've gotten to the same situation where you have your pipeline mail, contest calendars, and notes. Does that make sense, you guys? So that's what you would do on your phone, / it's what you would do on your iPads. Okay? Any questions about that before we continue? Just want to make sure that everyone's good with that. Open up, you guys. Nope. All right, so then I'm going to clear your answers because if someone needs more, yeah, what's that?
But it's what you showed us. And I'm still, it just for myself,
Mhm.
I'm a little uncomfortable about recommending. I don't do it because of what?
What do you mean recommending? I'm sorry.
Well, because all the issues about subscribe, don't unsubscribe, is it this amount of junk? What I'm saying is it kind of perpetuates itself instead of by having that junk mail. It's just my opinion.
Oh, I see. It's what we talked about the other day. Yeah.
It feeds itself.
Yeah, but the
So-
whole point is you can't get rid of it. Like, and this is the solution that I came up with. You can come up with any solution. We were talking about this the other day after you left. Josie is, sometimes I forget to repeat the question. So Josie is of the thought that to having an email that you direct junk email to only perpetuates a situation.
Right.
And I
fine.
agree. The best solution would be to not give your email to anyone and into your 10, very private people. That doesn't mean that your email doesn't get out there, because when you sign up for things, whatever you sign up for, when you go to stores and they ask you for your email, when you go online, they ask you for an email. So what email are you going to give them? If you don't own an email that you can use for junk, the only email you have to give them is your good one. So my opinion is either you just don't give them that email, and that's one way to work the world, and just not do it. And or B, you have an email that's a throwaway email that you give them and it just goes in there, and you can never check it at all. Like I check it because I have some accounts that have been so old in there that I still use it, but you can choose to never, ever, ever check that one. Don't put it in there even, but it's an active email that all the throwaway stuff will go away. Normally, I don't give my email out unless I want something. And so let me explain. I do a lot of professional development that I have to do a lot of learning, but I don't want to give them my personal email for that. So whenever I get like, we'll give you a free booklet of such and such to learn this, I give them that one. Then I download it, and then I can ignore it, because the next thing they're going to do is we'll give you one free and the rest you have to pay for. And I just don't want the rest of those emails. Does that make sense? So I'm not saying that you have to do that. I'm explaining to you my system. And if you choose to just never apply for anything that asks you for your email, then you might be able to keep it private.
I have two.
Mhm.
I have two that's business, and those are the real business things.
Mhm.
And the other one is family and friends.
Yeah,
And
that's good.
so
And
it's-
if you're never getting spam, that's awesome. A lot of people, you still might get spam through other people, including you guys in the BCC and the CC of emails and stuff like that. And then those lists get sold. So I'm not saying that your email won't get sold, but the more private you can keep it, the more you can keep it to just friends and family, the more chances that you'll have less spam. That's not going to keep it completely spam free, but it will give you less spam. You just
Okay.
don't want to give your good email out. If you do like Josie, that you only give it to very restricted people, that's a way to keep it clean. The moment others, anything in the world of commerce starts having your email, that's it. You're just, your email gets sold and it's on lists, and then you start getting not necessarily spam, but you start getting junk mail. And then spam comes with that. Those things also get sold to unreputable places where they start spamming you. Sorry, Kristen, your hand's been up for a little bit.
Yeah, so I have entered in my passwords in through settings. This is on my phone, in through settings and gone and entered them there. But I keep getting when I go into the mailbox app, is that what it's called? I keep getting incorrect password. Even that's why I'm wondering what is the password they're looking for if it's not the one for my email.
You have to read, and sometimes it asks you for your email's password, especially if you're setting it up. But sometimes they're asking you for the user on the computer. If it's on the computer, the
Yeah.
user is asking you for that which opens your computer. If it's
Mhm.
on your phone, they might be asking you for that thing that unlocks your phone. But if
Okay,
you're
so
installing
that-
your mail, they're asking you for your mail app password. Yeah.
Yeah, so I've tried to compare with my computer to the phone, but it's asking for the IMAP account. What's IMAP?
Okay, so what kind of account are you adding? Because it looks like you're accounting one of the others.
Yes.
Let me share. So
So
when
my
you guys go to
pipeline is
add
good.
account, hold
My
on.
Gmail is good.
When you go to add other account, it's a bit different than those. When you say add other account, and you then say mail account, and it's specifically a mail account, and you click on
Mhm.
that, then it asks you for whatever that email might be. So say that you put in target.com because you work for Target. So you put in Diana at
Yeah.
target.com.
I think it's different on the phone though.
Then they ask you for whether you're want an IMAP or an iPop, I believe are the two choices. Let me see if I do it on my phone. Give me a second. Let me share my phone. And that you need to, okay, here's my phone. So I'm in the same place. Right?
Mhm.
So if I'm in here and I go to my mail accounts and I need to add an account, and you go to see over here, they have outlook.com, which is interesting because Outlook is a Microsoft one. But anyway, I'll click on other. And then you just go to add mail account. Okay?
Yeah.
These are just
So maybe I
different
should
kind of accounts.
remove what I've done and start over
Click on
again.
add mail account, and over here you write it in there.
Mhm.
Sometimes, depending on the kind of account that the company has that is being used, after this, they might ask you for, is it an IPOP or an IMAP? And you can only ask your business that you work for, what account are you guys using? And then respond that way.
What
Right?
does an IMAP look like? Because I am the company.
It doesn't look any different. I mean, your accounts are, oh, if you're the company, then go ask whoever like if you're using GoDaddy, whoever your website is, go ask them, what kind of email are you guys using? Is it an iPad? Or go to their fax, frequently asked your questions. What kind of email are you guys providing me? It's two different systems. They look the same. For us users, makes no difference, but they could be using one system or the other to provide you with email. And since this is a unknown account, the phone needs you to tell them. And who you ask for the tech support of the company that provides you your website and your email. Does that make sense? Should I answer? You need to go to whoever.
Okay.
It's a setting on their server. You need to ask them. Maybe you do Squarespace. Who knows what your website is, and you have to go to their tech support and say, what kind of email are you giving me? Is it IMAP? Is it IPOP? What are the numbers? Usually in the frequently asked questions, you'll have one that says how to set up your email, and they'll have that kind of answer for you. But if not, get onto their tech support. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. It's like, because you probably
Yeah.
set up a website with some of those companies. Go into their tech support and find out what they're using.
I hear you. Okay.
Yeah, it gets it. That's why they have the most, traditional ones here. But once you get into individual ones, they don't.
Well, it's just an AOL. I just don't know what this
Still have-
password for
Oh,
IMAP
well, if
is.
you went to AOL, why didn't you go through the AOL button?
I did.
And then AOL, they're asking you.
And that's why I said maybe I should just delete these and then add them back on.
Yeah,
my
because
plan.
AOL you can set up the same way as the others. You just put it
Exactly.
in. say
Yeah.
no.
And I have 2 successes, but AOL isn't. I have 2 different AOL accounts and they're not working. So I'll delete them
Okay,
and
but you know
start
what?
over.
It's possible. Sometimes you need to go to tech support online and say, my AOL accounts aren't going in. And then you need to go and check what operating system you're using on your phone. So you'll go over here into general and figure out my operating system is. So you go to I've got iOS version 18.6.1.
Okay.
And I'm trying to put in my AOL because depending on what version you have, sometimes as they update, some companies have glitches and you go, is there a workaround? And they'll say, oh, you need to say this or that, but you need to do some research because.
Okay. I can do that. And this is called the app, the Mac mail app. It's a mail app. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, just basically is to pick up your email from your phone. Yeah, through the map.
Okay.
AOL doesn't have its own app. So. Well,
Yeah.
I
But-
don't even know if
yeah.
AOL has their own app anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, to install your AOL account on your iPhone. So
Got
that
it.
would be a question you could ask on Google or something, or you can even
Okay.
ask, you can even go to the Apple tech support. Apple tech support is really good and they don't charge you, and you just call in and they make an appointment. They call you back and then you can ask them and they'll walk you through all that kind of stuff to how to install other things onto their phones. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, Phil had something to say about this though, about the servers. So. Yeah. Yeah. No. We're going to go into the apps now and you'll see how you can delete everything all at once. Yeah. So I haven't gone in yet to the email app to teach it to you. I just kind of showed you how you see all the different mailboxes. That's all I've shown you. So we're going to go in and handle all of that. Okay. Let me stop my share, by the way, since I'm not using that for now. So yes, Mary Jean.
Okay, based on this, I'm going to say I have a primary email, which is Mary Jean A. So much of my stuff is on there. Based on what we've talked about, I'm wondering, I also have Mary Jean B. Would it be worth it to do things like the library and stuff that's not important, change it to Mary Jean B?
Yes, and yes, if you're comfortable with knowing you did that, and that's why I'm saying it's a conditional yes. Yes, of course, that's how I do. I told you I have one for subscriptions for stuff like that because I want those emails, but I just don't want to be cluttering my inbox every day because I am easily distracted. If I see 100 emails, I might go for 2 hours checking emails, and so I leave my Mary Jean A for the stuff that I do want to check. And then my work one for them I'm working. And then all the other stuff that I do want to get, but I just don't want to have to see them every day. Rather, when I sit down to go look at my library books or to go look at my subscriptions, those I give them the Mary Jean B. Does that make sense?
So
But
then
for some people, that's like one too many. It's like, no, I don't want to handle that. So I'm not saying you have to do that. But
Right.
if you can handle that and know who you give what, I think that's the best solution.
Okay, so then what do? I go to, say, the library and say, I'd like to change my email and just go to these different places and say, I'd like to change it. All right, it just might be worth doing because I don't want to
The
lose.
ones that come in all the time, you know how, or you can also find that some places are sending you stuff every day and you can go into their subscription and say, give me
Right.
just, what, sometimes you can say 1 a week. Sometimes you can say, give me a scheduled summary. What that means is that at the end of the day, you'll get one email from them with the 5 notices that went out that day, for example, because some place, I think there's one that I'm part of and that is called Nextdoor. And some of you guys might use it. The local Nextdoor, it's like local to Santa Barbara. Each local place has their own. And I don't want to check it all the time because people are like complaining about potholes and this and that. And there's like, but every now and then something really important comes through, some community meeting, something that you want. And so I have that one to arrive as one email at the end of the day with whatever, and then I can skim through the titles and see if there's anything I need to read. You know what I mean? So there's ways, some companies allow you to summarize things that way. Others, you just say, don't send me email, or some you can say, send me 1 a week, you know, so that's, if they are legit companies, you can do that kind of thing, but you need to do them in their sites. You have to go to the library, to the Nextdoor, to the whatever, and change your settings there. It's not about, mail just receives whatever it receives, right? You can't in mail make those decisions. That said, I will in the mail app now show you. Remember where we talked about categories that I said turn the categories off is what I said the first day. And if you might not forget what it was, but where it said primary and sales and social, I told you turn it off so that we can just use it without that. And now I'm going to teach you how to use it with that, because another thing is that up until a year ago, that didn't exist. And now that that exists, I'm actually having a much easier time handling all those distractions by putting them on different categories. So I think that's actually the best thing since sliced bread as far as mail is concerned, for my sake. So I'm going to go show you that. And I was going to start with contacts right now, but since we're bringing this up and we've been talking quite a bit about it right now, and mail is always one of those things that people have a lot. I think we still use our email a lot. Let me go ahead and I'm going to close. I had contacts all geared up to start teaching you, but I'm going to close that up and I'm going to go ahead and let's open mail. So everyone open your mail app on your computer first. Mail app on your computer first. Okay. And then we're going to, I'm going to share my screen. Okay, my mail app on my computer. And here I am on my mail app on my computer. And I'm going to click on all your inboxes. And before we go any further, I want to make sure that everyone is seeing their email the same way as me, meaning 3 columns. And if you're not seeing it like me, if it's looking any different, let's talk before we can get anything else done, because there's so many different ways that it could be setting itself up. And give me a raised hand or a no, or speak up at this point if what you're seeing is different than this. Okay, everything I'm peeking over here on people's computers seems the same. Let me give a hand. Let me just walk over to Maud to see how you're doing with Zoom. You got,
I went to this, I went to mail.
so you're,
Got off Zoom.
okay. But if you were at home, you wouldn't be seeing me there, right? So this is the thing. If you're at home and you want to see Zoom, oh, you won't be able to use the stage manager because you would have to be seeing me on Zoom at the same time. Let me spend a second here with you, because the stage manager allows you to see only one thing. So here would, instead of that, you'd have me demoing it here, right? So then if you move me kind of sideways so that I'm somewhere over here so that you can see me. Whoops, I didn't. It was supposed to get small. And I'm just saying, like, this is how you're gonna have to do that. And it's a bit weird because I'll be showing you something here. And then over here, this one, once it's open, you can close it. You don't need to have it open anymore. And then here you'll have your own mail, right? So see how you can't do both because of Stage Manager. Now, what you could do is click on this to see what I'm talking about, right? And then put me maybe off of Stage Manager. And then when you want to do it, click on that. You can do that. But if you want to be seen and doing at the same time, the only way to do that is to have turn off Stage Manager. But you're liking Stage Manager, right?
Yeah.
then avoid looking at the screen as if I wasn't there and click on that and see if you can see the demo. And then when you're ready to do it, click on that to do it. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Yeah.
And we'll see if that works. Otherwise, the only other option is to turn off Sage Manager and have constantly me on one corner and your stuff on the other bit. Does that make sense? Okay. So here we go. Everyone click on all inboxes.
How do I add one? My mail is, my new email isn't in this.
Okay, so how about we do this? Maybe after class, I'll help you because
Okay,
I've explained it a few times already and I want to move forward. For now, whatever
Sure.
email you have. You have a new one and just actually I'll show you right now in case, because I know you do know how to use the email itself. So let me just show you so you can do this in the background. What you could do right now is you could just open your settings. Hold on, I'm not sharing my entire screen. Give me a second. This is just for Barbara. Open your system settings and go to internet accounts and then said add account and I'll leave you to it. Okay.
okay.
While you do that.
Wait a minute.
Meanwhile, that's just because you need to follow all those things. Okay. For the rest of us, let's head over to mail and let me share again only
System setting.
my mail app so there's less clutter on your screen. Here we go. Okay, so pay attention for a minute. Under all inboxes, I asked you last week to turn off
iCloud pipeline. Add account.
Can't hear you.
Okay.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So what's happening right now is that the emails are coming in mixed up. I've got one from SBCC teacher, one from pipeline, another from SBCC teacher, another from pipeline. So they're just coming in mixed up in order that their arrival. And I'm seeing all of them at once. And the topmost one is the last one that arrived. So at 12:16 p.m. and I guess I got this one. And at 12:05 p.m. I got that one. At 10:50 a.m. I got that one. But from different, sent to me in different accounts. Now, if I think that one is like Instagram, do I want to be reading all these people are posting things? Do I care about that one? Well, no, okay. Let me set the date. I'm working and I'm checking my mail. Think about that, right? And I have to focus on work. I've got a deadline. And I come in here and I see something from Instagram. These people are writing to me, not writing to me. This all this says is that these people, new people to discover, suggested accounts based on your interests, right? I guess I use only Instagram for like certain things for my pottery and my stuff. And so I'm not following these people, but for some other places that I might have checked, they figure out that I might be interested in it. Do I need to say, oh, this is a good one. Let me go to Instagram and start reading about these people. Is that the appropriate thing to be seeing right now at work? No. Now, if this were my free time and I'm like, sure, let me go check these accounts, that's fine. But this is a perfect example. I'm glad this one arrived of Instagram sending me something that I didn't need to see right now because I'm trying to focus on the deadline or whatever. The next one is for a class that I'm teaching next week, and that's fine. That's an email I sent, and that's good. And then PC Mag Tech Deals. Now there's an expandable drawer organizer, 50% off. Again, do I need to be seeing that one? No, right? Or Canva. Oh, you can save hours if you use this template, or Creative Pro Weekly. Now, trust me, I do go to these things. They're not junk. These are things that every now and then I do need to explore. I do need to read, but this is not the time. So right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say show mail categories. And the first thing you'll notice is that this Instagram and the PC tech deals and Canva should disappear, not gone, but let me show you what's going to happen. And Ed and Deanna here, welcome to Digital Techniques. That one should stay. Amber Asher, share request for Illustrator Share Drive. That one should stay. Trisha Matone, invitation to a fan board steering meeting. That one should stay. Let's see if that's so, because these are actually work emails. So let me just click on show mail categories. And look at that. Ed and Deanna stayed. Trisha Matone stayed. But there's another one that I said should stay that didn't stay. Let me go back. I told you that this one, Amber Asher via Google Drive, should have stayed and it didn't. Ed and Deanna stayed. Trisha Matone stayed, but this one I said should stay and it didn't. The rest went away and they're supposed to go away. So let's see what happened. Okay. So what happened is that the computer, with its artificial intelligence and reading my emails, has decided that these are the ones that belong under primary. Now I'm telling you to you this way because it is artificial intelligence deciding, not you. It's up to you to direct it from now on to recategorize them, right? But at its first glance, it figures, oh, these sound like they're important ones. And if I read, yeah, these are all, it did a good job of not putting any junk in here. These are all things and people. This is all, in fact, it noticed that it left pipeline. Let me just remind you, my iCloud here isn't my real iCloud. At home, I would have real ones from my iCloud because they'd be real emails. But here it's the school one that gets nothing. So it basically, what it did, it decided that my important ones are these, and it so happens they're all pipeline. Not really. Here's one that went to SBCC teacher that they left in primary. Okay. But for the most part, it so defaults to pipeline because the rest are fake accounts that I use just for teaching. But in your case, it probably would be a smidgen of 2 or 3 different email addresses at what computer thinks is important. If so, I'm going to go and see where did it put the other stuff, because it was there. So I'm going to click on transactions, and it turns out that under transactions, it's telling me, you know how when you send an email and it doesn't arrive, it tells you that you get a notification failure. So it turns out that in the transactions, which is interesting, it put in these notification failures. And these are people that I email for school stuff that they probably gave a wrong email to school. And so whenever I email to the class, I get back a, oh, didn't arrive. And then I know that that person hasn't received the information that the class is starting, for example. It shouldn't really be under transactions. And in fact, this might be important for me to know that this person isn't getting it. So I could put it into primary, or maybe I could put it into updates. It's certainly not a promotion. It's kind of weird because where does this really go? Do I need to know that this person didn't get my email? If I need to know it, then I need to tell it this is primary. So how do I do that? Let me turn this one back into primary. Now, when I say this one, it's not this one email. It's any emails that come from the delivery status notification, which means that anything that I get of that kind will now be always rerouted to primary. Does that make sense? Now, truly, I do need this because it is important for me to know that when I email a student, they're not getting my email. Does that make sense? So as much as I'd rather not get, I'd rather this not be happening, I do need to know it. So I'm going to select this one. I'm going to right click and I'm going to recategorize, categorize the sender, and I'm going to call this one always categorize as primary. That makes sense? So do you want to recategorize all messages from mail delivery subsystem to primary? If so, all current and future messages, it won't go back in history. So it won't recategorize the other 2, but this one and any more that come in will appear now in primary. Does that make sense? It doesn't go back in time. I'm going to say, okay, continue. And I guess it considered the other 2 new enough that it probably sent all 3 of them forward to primary. And they arrived a few days ago. Oh, I should have checked the time. I should have checked their date because they go back to primary, but in whatever date they came, right? It's not like they're new emails, and I should have checked their date. And so they're down there somewhere. If I go find, one of these is gonna be that one.
Why do you
Whatever
say
that
to check their name, just in case it's the same one?
No, because see, like this one says October 12th, right? And this one is a receipt. So if I were, it's a receipt and it belongs in transactions, is that correct? Yeah. But how about this one? This one is a FR group training, VL Factory, training tomorrow captions. It put it under transactions. Now, if I want to get my training email, this is the FRC group is the faculty resource center that trains us on new things that we need to know. If I want to get these emails in primary, I would have to recategorize it. If I don't really care about these, I could move it, but it for sure isn't a transaction. So maybe I could put it under updates, right? But here's what I'm trying to say. Look at the date. That one arrived September 24th. So if I move it to updates and I go look for updates, I'd have to scroll down to September 24th to find it. Does that make sense?
Oh,
So the three that I said were primary, I didn't check their dates. So I don't know where they ended up in primary whenever they arrived, because these are categorized in order of arrival. Does that make sense? And maybe that was an email that I sent out 2 weeks ago and I got the immediate delivery failure. So they're sitting there now, primary, but next time something comes from mail delivery notification, it'll pop into primary because I've just trained my computer. Does this explanation make sense? Not that you're doing it yet, but hold on, let me clear my answers. Does it make sense when I'm explaining about how to recategorize stuff? You have to think them through and decide, do I want to get this one? Do I want to go read them? So here's an example. Nathan Barry, where's your best effort going? Hey, I was teaching about, and my first million podcast, and this is a guy who teaches some podcasts, some social media stuff that I actually was teaching in the past, the social media classes. I'm not teaching them right now. So I don't need to get them into primary, but I wouldn't mind getting them into updates because every now and then I read what Nathan Barry tells me. So I'm going to right click this one and I'm going to tell it to go and become an update. Okay, so from now on, anything from Nathan Barry, all current and future messages will appear in updates. Does that make sense? So I'll continue. So what I'm doing is I'm cleaning up my primary to be really important stuff that I need to read no matter what. Whenever I pay or receive a bill or an invoice, I have to go to transactions. There's my receipt. Now, it's so important, you guys, that you guys pay attention to this because a lot of people, when they do turn these categories on, they might suddenly go, I'm not seeing my emails anymore. It might be that they're being categorized as an update or as a transaction or as a promotion incorrectly. So the first few weeks of turning on this system, you need to train it. I'm going to go to promotions. Remember PC MacTech deals and Canva, the ones I told you that were in my primary before, they landed in promotions and that's what they are. That makes sense. And in fact, that's a promotion, but this Canva is an update. This actually, Canva is something that I do use. So I'm going to actually right click and say, nope, Canva is an update. Okay, they have some new templates. So now Canva will appear in updates. So you have to go through your stuff and tell your computer what to do. Yeah. If it's, yeah, sometimes it says you have, yeah, and well, but it would Amtrak would be, it's not a promotion, right? Oh, it's like a deal. You have one more week to buy a cheap ticket or something like that.
yeah. So that's kept going back to primary.
That's true. My personal mind around that, for me, and this is just me, I would call it a transaction because in my brain, I know that anything that has to do with deals that I want to hear, I will be checking my transactions. I don't want to see it every day. But then you have to remember, guys, when you go check your email, you don't check just your primary. You also go and check your transactions and see if anything important arrived there or updates. But if you're never going to check the rest, you're going to leave them as if they're junk, then this won't work for you. Does that make sense? Now, 99% of the times, I just read my primary. And then when I have time or when I know that a bill is arriving or if I want to check if something, you know, something I paid for has been it, then I'll go check transactions. But so I'm checking primary, 10 times a day, but I might check transactions once a day. And updates, maybe I only go to it a few times a week. That's because I've already trained mine, okay? This is not an example of trained. Here's an example of me showing you stuff. But in my real email, I've trained it. So then updates, I might check when I'm ready to sit and read some news or some subscriptions or stuff like that. Promotions is basically more junky, so I only check it when I'm missing something and I'm like, where is that thing? Could it have landed there? So I'll go and check, and then I go, oh, it landed in promotions. Okay, I'll retrain it. So I'm checking it maybe once a week, or when something's missing, right? Updates when I want to read some of that stuff. Transactions, when there's anything financial involved, even for my bank or whatever, I'll send it there. So I do check transactions once a day for sure, and primary many times a day. Does that make sense? So if you're someone who only checks email once a day, then you might have to check all of them, the important ones, once a day. But I just check this one once a day and this one many times a day. But it's lightened up. It's lightened up the whole use of email for me a lot. When it first arrived, I was like all confused. It's all wrong. When I discovered I could recategorize them, it's now I love, because I check my email and I only look for the important stuff and I don't bother with the rest. And it's not junk mail, but I just don't pay attention to it until I'm ready to pay attention to it. Got it? And so it really helps with my attention during times that I need to not be, let's go see those new accounts that Instagram is telling me I should check. Well, I don't need to do that right now. So by not seeing it, I don't do it. Okay. So anyone, while I'm talking, hopefully you've been out there categorizing. I want to answer your question, Carol, but Blas's hand has been up for a little bit. So let me deal with Blas's question first, and then I'll take Carol. And then after Carol, I'll take Barbara. Yes, Blas?
Yes, when I access my emails on my Yahoo account, there's a search function where I can pick up name or something, and it pulls up all their emails. On the mail function that you're showing us, you
right
forgot
here.
to look at the dates, so you have to scroll all the way down. Is there a search function?
Yeah, there's a search right here. So
Oh, I see it.
color on it. Here we go. Here's
And
the
can you also mute the people on Zoom? Because I hear a lot of snorting in the background. And it's very distracting.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let me mute everyone, and then you all know that if you need to talk to me, you need to unmute yourself. I must admit that since I'm talking all the time too, sometimes I begin to ignore it. But if you guys have your sound on and in the background you're scraping your chair or blowing your nose or just going to things that I'm saying, that comes through and it can become a little bit of a problem. So just know I've muted everyone. When you speak to me, you're going to have to unmute yourself and then mute yourself again after you're done. Okay. And if I forget, thank you, Blas. Blas mentioned that the other day to me, and I said, please remind me out loud because I forget. So anyone's welcome to remind me and say, hey, can you mute people? Because it's kind of out of my, if I'm only on Zoom, I'm more aware of it. But when I'm in class, I'm less aware of those noises that come from Zoom. They're not bugging me as much. And so you need to tell me they're bugging you. Got it? And it's no one's fault. You're just moving in your chair. You're just unwrapping a wrapper, and you don't notice that you're moving some paper around because you're writing things around, and those noises become noisy on the microphone. Okay. So thanks for that reminder, Blas. And yes, here's the search. So let me demo the search feature. First of all, say that I wanted to look for something in particular and I don't know what it is or where it is. Here's my search. It's not the search for the entire computer. It's the mail search. And when I click on the mail search, I can search in there for something. And I don't remember what it is that I was looking for, but let me look for example, things from Emma. Emma writes to me all the time. Emma Cruz, she's the dean's assistant here. So I'm going to write Emma. And there we go. Anything from Emma Cruz, they're all together. Okay. But not only that, but look at what happened. When I wrote Emma, it asks me, watch, do you want anything from Emma Cruz, this person? Or are you looking for Emma Cruz things that she sends via Google Forms, which is she sends me a lot of stuff? Or are you looking for if the sender contains the word Emma, because there might be other Emmas, not Emma Cruz. I might be looking for Emma Harris or something. Or is the subject supposed to say Emma? So could someone have been writing to me about, hey, Emma, maybe Emma's the dog, my dog's name, Emma is loose in your yard again. Maybe they wrote it as a subject, or maybe someone sent me an attachment that came with, you know, Emma's baby shower, things that she needs. There are other, you know what I'm saying? There's other reasons why it might be. So if I know that I'm wanting anything from Emma, I just click on the top one. But what if I was looking for an attachment named Emma? You know, so you can kind of sub-categorize. And so let me click on that to see if I instead of every email she has ever sent me, let me click on this one. And then I get only one, because there's only one in which I have an attachment that has, and here it is for Emma summer schedule. You see that? So I can even not, I don't have to scroll through every email that Emma ever sent. I'm just looking for anything that's an attachment. And over here, so it says attachment. I can now change my mind. I can say no, message. Okay, so now any message that contains the word Emma. So you can keep, you know what I mean? So it's a pretty thorough kind of search where you get some choices. So everyone go and search for something. Go and make sure that if you're searching in primary, it's from primary. It says go search for something or someone. Here's the search. So depending on your email, some people have it much tinier, some have it much bigger, but it's always at the right, to the right of where email ends.
That's primary.
Oh, from here, from the, so how do you get the primary? See that little 3 little dots? You say show email categories or not show email categories, okay? So it's this view options. I'm becoming aware, by the way, from looking at her computer though, that you guys might not be seeing these words that say filter and view options. So let me go back. Maybe you are just seeing these buttons. Is that so? Everyone? At least that's how Maud's computer was. You know how I just had the word view options and I had the word filter here? Now I have only icons. Okay, so watch what you need to do. Put your mouse right on that empty space, mouse or fingers on your touchpad. Right click and choose icon and text. And that's a good one that no one had mentioned. I only noticed it through Maud, because if you've been seeing me saying go to view options and you're not seeing view options, you need to tell me I don't see view options. Because then I totally think that seeing view options, get mail, new message, filter are good things, because you don't know what these icons are yet. So it's really good to see their names. Okay, so if you don't see, if you see this as icons only, which is the default, I forgot that mine were already turned on from the last time I taught this. So I needed to show you that. And to say icon and text. And that's also for the Finder window. It's in many places when you want to see little icons only and you want to see what they mean, do a right click and see if it gives you the choice to see the icon and the text. All right, so Barbara had said you would be next. What's your question?
I don't show all inboxes anywhere.
Okay, it could be sometimes people lose it. Let me restore it, or let's see what's happening. Can you share your screen?
Sure.
Everyone at home, give me a yes if what you're seeing is pretty much what I'm showing you and you got it. And you're not experts at it, but yeah, you just need to learn it. But you see how to turn on and off the categorize those options. You see how to do that. Okay. Give me yeses on that so I can see how people are doing. All right. So this this that you're sharing with me right now, Barbara, this is your settings for where you're going to set up your email. Okay. But it is not your mail app, it's your settings. Hold on, I'm needing to move back over here so people at home can see what you're sharing. At school here can see what you're sharing. Let me make this a little bit bigger. Okay, so this is where you said you had a new email. Did you set it up yet already or not?
I thought I did. Barbara
well,
Walsh, SB at Yahoo.
Okay, so it's that one. Okay. And if you want it to, if it's the only Yahoo you have, then that's good. If it's one that you want to have it say Barbara Walsh at Yahoo, but if it's the only Yahoo, okay. So then now go to your mail app, because your mail app is not what you're looking. So you can close this if this is ready to go. And now you can go to your mail app and open your mail app, and that's where you'll see all the inboxes. There it is. Oops. Yeah, you can go to your dock again. I saw it on your dock. There it is. I just circled it right there. There's your mail app. To the right. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I've got to move this bar here.
Okay.
Okay.
Now
This-
touch the dock. See the dock again. Bring the mouse down to see your dock.
It's on.
Okay. Then there
I
we go.
don't see it. I've got to, let me close that. Okay, now I'll go down. There we go.
Okay, so here's your mail app. Now you are seeing things reduced. You're seeing 2 columns only. You see that?
Yeah.
So can you stretch this out instead of just moving it out? Can you stretch it out? Yeah. Okay, so you have it set up. So remember at the beginning, I said if you're seeing things differently, it's not that she has it smaller stretch. She has it set up so that she's not viewing one more window that we have. You see that?
Oh,
So
okay.
she's seeing just a little reduced version. So go over here to view.
Oh, up there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And let's try use column, or no, so show side preview. This next one, show side preview, where you preview your email, right? Go down, down, to
Down.
show side preview, one down.
That one?
That one, show side preview. Thank you. So now's your preview, okay? Now this is so big, you might want to drag it in a little bit so you have more of your preview, but now you can click on that. Well, now you're seeing them all very small. I was thinking, expend it a little bit more or whatever amount you can. And now click on this email.
This one?
Yeah. And see how it's kind of cut off. So you want to make this one here, this line. Yeah. But you also want to make this line a little bit smaller because this is just this should be just a little preview. So put your mouse so it gives you the double-headed arrow. There we go. And it doesn't need to be tiny, but it needs to be small enough that you get an idea of what it is to know whether you should read it or not. But then the whole email appears over here. Okay, so now go ahead and click on your emails, whichever one you want, and then you might see like when you get Amazon, they send you all the time. We found something you might like. So that's a perfect example of something that unless you want, so click over here where I'm circling. Yeah. So over here, it shows you the email. Okay. Then you click over there and then here you
Oh,
click over there, wherever. This is where you select your emails and then you see them over here. Does that make sense? You click them over here. This is like the little mini 2-word sentence of what it is. And if you think that you might be interested in seeing it, you just need to click and then it shows it to you there. Okay, is that making sense, Barbara?
okay. I bought this thing. So then they send me another email that says, we found something we think you
Yeah,
might.
whatever you've been searching, they go, oh, if you search for notebooks, let me show you 10 other notebooks. So here's the thing. This is an example of what I mean, that I wouldn't want this in my primary unless you want that. No, but you might not want to unsubscribe because some of these might be useful for you. I'm saying one idea is to unsubscribe from that. I get it. You can go to Amazon and tell it what kind of emails you want to receive. And one of them is, do you want us to keep sending you suggestions? And you can unsubscribe from that one. That's the best solution. But in here, if you don't do that, then you can categorize this as a promotion. We found something you might like. Does that make sense? Now watch for a second. It says that it came from Amazon.com. You guys, this is for every single person who's here. Pay attention. Everyone who knows everything about email, pay attention. She's got Amazon.com reviews. She's got Amazon.com. We have something you likes. 1 new deals for you, and here's another new deals. But you should somewhere here have one that's more like you received a package or something like that. We sent it to you. You know, it's okay. So what I'm saying is that these are different different emails. And if you don't know, they all say Amazon.com. Can you scroll up to the top? Because I do know there's one there that's different. If you click over on this word Amazon.com, if you hover over it, you get the little guy there. And now click on that little tiny arrow next to the word.
Oh, that,
Yeah.
okay.
And that came from Store News. So then when you go to your subscription, you can tell it, I don't want to get Store News, for example. But you have another
How
one.
do you know
here.
that came from Store News?
Here you have one that's reviews. Click on this email and it'll come from someone else. Come over here.
Where are you?
Yeah, I have so many things. Let me clean all my pink. Here, come to Amazon.com reviews. Click on it. Okay, now go over here. Well, this one actually changed its name. But if you go over here to Amazon.com, put your mouse over here and that little triangle will appear. I'm teaching you again and again to see where things come from. Go to that little triangle because you need to go to the triangle. It doesn't work to click on the word.
The
Yeah.
V?
Yeah, that little V. This one came from customer reviews messages. You see that? It all says Amazon.com, but these are different. So one of these, if you did buy something, should say, package has been sent. Package will arrive in 2 days. Package has arrived. Yeah. If you look at that, it'll come from another Amazon place. So you might want to keep those on and other like under transactions. So you can recategorize those transactions and these to just promotions. Does that make sense?
What is this categorized sender?
Exactly. So that's what I'm about to turn on for you.
Transactions update promote.
Up here.
Okay.
Go to this little, go first to this empty area, do a right click and say icon and text. Good. And now under view options, say show mail categories. Now guys, I want to give you guys, this is really important. She turned on primary, transactions and updates, but listen and look. She was under Yahoo. So she's only turned this on for Yahoo. She's only looking at her Yahoo email. If she goes to Tidewater or Pipeline, it might not be set up that way. If she wants it for all inboxes, she has to do it under all inboxes, okay? Then it turns on.
Okay, got it.
But now for this, you can now say, see how many of them have disappeared? In fact, you only see one of the gifts. This one might even be under transactions versus the rest must have gone to promotions. Let's go check. Let's go to transactions.
Oh, okay. Wait, where's that?
This guy there.
Where are
And
you?
hover over it. It'll say transactions. You need to hover over it.
View options?
Nope. Right next to primary, there's a little shopping cart.
I got it.
Click on that. Looks like you don't have any transactions in your Yahoo account. That, remember, you have other stuff. Now go to the updates. And it's putting all the Yahoo stuff that you just signed in, okay? This is because you just signed in. You just did this while we were in class. You added your Yahoo to your Mac and then go to promotions. And under promotions.
No,
is
I
where you-
already had it.
and
But
under
yeah, but
promotions,
it's
we have-
new.
there we go. The reviews, we found something you might like. All that stuff has been sent straight to promotions. You see that?
Oh, yeah, okay.
So if you do want to receive one of those, like one of these is important to you. So scroll down and you discover, oh no, this is something I want to read. You right click and you recategorize it. Okay. Now all of these seem to be promotions. Yeah. Oh, look, scary movies from Prime Video or new deals from Amazon. So I think promotions is the right place for them. Unless you are the kind of person who likes getting Amazon or Prime Video
Not
reminders of,
really.
there's this new movie out and you're someone who goes and watches every movie that's new out. So, that's your choice. Otherwise, that's a good spot for it. Or as Josie said, and I keep saying, go to your Amazon account, not through here, but to your Amazon account, choose what messages you want to receive and tell them, don't send me new suggestions. Don't send me promotions. Don't send me, yes, send me if there's a coupon or yes, send, they have different categories. So you make that choice. So
I
now
didn't know that. Thank you.
Now head back to primary. And this is the thing though, if you're someone who maybe is having issues with remembering what you saw in class, if you're someone with easily distracted or with memory loss or something like that, this might not be a good solution for you because you might forget to keep checking the others. You know what I mean? You might go, where's my stuff? I'm not getting it anymore. And I've had that happen to someone who was having some issues with memory. And I said, as far as I'm concerned for you, you better turn it off because you need to control this. You need to know to check the others. Otherwise, you think this is all the email that you got. So I'm not saying that it's the right solution for everyone.
So how do you get all your emails?
So if you want to go over here, oh, and
For
one more
all-
thing,
all
hold on,
inboxes?
hold on, one more thing. And if you do want to get all your emails from Yahoo without turning this feature off, then the one that's kind of hiding right here, that, the last one after everything, that's all emails from Yahoo. No. I mean, you can do that, but click right there. Yeah.
Oh,
That
got
is
it.
hiding. Now that shows you as if the filter category was turned off. Okay. So you never have to go turn that on and off. If you're using the system and at some point you just want to see everything because you were told it arrived and you can't find it, you click on email and you go, oh, that's what it was. And it's basically unfiltered. And now you go back to seeing only your primaries.
Okay, now I don't
That
use
one-
that
go back to primary.
Tidewalker.
Barbara, go back to primary. Go back to primary, which is this one. And see how it always hides itself. Even if you make this bigger or smaller. So go make this bigger like you had done before. Yeah. And see how it hides itself. Because
This thing right here.
yeah, no matter making it bigger or smaller, it's always kind of hiding because the whole point of this categories is that you don't want to see them all. So it's always peeking out. It's there, but it's never there, so to say.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm trying to say, you guys? Does everyone get that? No matter that she made this bigger or smaller, it's just always after the final one. So go check it out, you guys. See how it's there.
Okay, now if I want to delete this Tidewalker,
Yeah. You don't want to ever see that email again?
probably not.
Okay, so then go to your accounts, go to your settings, open your system settings,
That's down the bottom.
your computer system settings. Yep, go there. Go to internet
Internet
accounts
accounts.
down there. Oh, now you're moving it up, but there we go. It's still there. Internet account. I keep circling, but it keeps moving.
Okay, let me.
It's okay. There it is. But just click on it. Every time I circle it, yeah, just click on it. There we go. Now go to Tidewalker. Okay, for those of you who say, I don't want to see stuff from here, go to that little arrow and delete the account if it's, hold on, don't delete it yet. Delete the account only if it's something you'll never, ever want again. Like, you know, if you just want to see, not see anything from them right now, you can just turn these off and then you can turn them on at will. Now, if you have used this in the past a lot, one thing you might want to always keep on is the contacts, because even if you don't want to keep receiving mails from them, calendars, whatever, it tends to be that if you've used as an account for many years, you might have some contacts in there still that are important to you. And you might not want to turn it off. And when I go to the contacts app, I'll show you how to check if there's any contacts that are important to you. And if they're not, then you can turn that off and then you can just delete the account. But you're not deleting your account. Tidewalker49@gmail has been created with Gmail. You're just not going to see it through your computer anymore. But if you go to your browser and go to Gmail and type in Tidewalker, whatever it has, even if you haven't used it for 10 years, that's still live. At some point, I don't know how long has to go by if you haven't used it before they cancel it, but it's a long time.
So you have to go into the Gmail to your account that
If
you
you
have
want to get rid
there.
of it forever and ever, you have to go up to the Gmail account and say delete
Okay.
account, and they'll go, really? Are you sure? You're gonna lose everything forever. And yeah, you will lose everything forever. So this is a good way to first check your contacts. When we leave it on, like go ahead and turn off the ones that you know for sure you don't want, but leave the contacts on so that when we go to contacts, I'll tell you I'll show you how to check to see if you have any contacts in Tidewalker that you might want to save and transfer to another account. Okay. Now this is what I
See,
said. Once you
I
turn
don't
these
want to
things off,
delete.
no, hold on. If
Oh.
you have any notes that you've done in that account and you turn this off, they'll just disappear from your Mac. It's not that they'll be gone, but maybe you should leave these on again.
All right.
And when we go to each one of these, we'll see whether there's anything that matters. Okay, if
And
you haven't
check
used-
them.
You haven't used Tidewalker for calendar appointments for a
I
while.
don't remember the last time I
Yeah,
used
then
it.
turn off the calendars because I doubt, because that is a timely thing, right? Contacts aren't timely. So say delete from my Mac. Contacts aren't timely. You made your contact. I wrote down Phil's name 10 years ago, but I still have his contact. So it doesn't matter when I wrote it versus an appointment. If 10 years ago I had got a dentist appointment, I don't care about it now. So that's a good one to turn off. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right.
Thank
So
you.
notes on the other hand that you might have made many years ago that are still valid, like My
I'm gonna
example.
get
I bought my
efficient at
house-
this.
I got my house, I don't know, about 16 years ago. What's 2009? Anyway, 16 years ago. And I wrote down the paint colors I had chosen for my walls in a note that existed 16 years ago. To this date, whenever I need to paint a scrape or whatever, I can go back to that note. So it's a really old note, but it's a valid note. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Or recommended books. Who cares? Someone recommended it 10
Oh, I
years ago, you
should
haven't
put
read
my
it yet.
paint
It's still a
recipes in
valid
there.
note. All right. But you could transfer it to another account if you're going to actually cancel that account forever and ever. You could just transfer it. Okay. Is everyone beginning to understand
How
how this
would you
works?
transfer an account?
I'll show you in you don't over here. You can grab a note and copy it into another account and then delete it. I'll show you how when you get to the notes app.
Okay.
And the same with contacts. You can assign that contact to another account and then you can delete it. But for
Thank you,
now-
Diane. I didn't know any of that.
Yeah, well, there you go. So now when you go back to last thing of demo, you have turned off the email. See that on your mail?
Right.
Tidewalker. So now over here, watch you guys, don't click on anything yet. Notice that it still says inbox Tidewalker in my mail app. This is my mail app. It still says that because it's not the active account yet.
It's
We
not
just turned it
deleted.
off. So now go click on here and you'll see that the moment you click on here, this will disappear because it's been turned off from there. So click on that.
Where, here?
Yeah. And see how the account isn't there anymore, right? You're not receiving.
Oh, yeah, I see
So
that.
now click on all inboxes and then all that will disappear. And that's it. You don't see your Tidewalker emails anymore. Got it? But in case you repent and want to see them, you go back to the accounts and you turn it on again. It's as simple on and off
In system settings.
in the system settings. Yeah.
Thank
the
you.
way, I keep saying system settings, but just so you know, you can also turn these on and off from the app settings. And to not confuse you too much, because in the system settings, you can turn on notes, calendars, contacts, apps. But in the mail app settings, you can just turn on mail or off, on or off. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So say, go ahead and go up to the mail settings. And because I want everyone to know, every app has its own settings.
Where's,
Every app on a Mac has its own settings. So where do you find them? If mail is your active app, then go up to the menu and you have it turned off, but go click on the top of the screen here, on the very top of your Mac screen to get your Apple icon menu. There, that one. Every app, leave it, don't move, don't do anything. Every single app, no matter what app it is on a Mac, has its own settings. So the system settings are the Mac OS settings. That's why we handle things like all of the accounts for all the programs. But mail, every single time you have an app active, it shows its name up right next to the Apple. If you see the Apple, next to the Apple, we will have the active mail. Okay,
Okay.
go to the word mail, because right under the name of the app, you will always find that app's settings. Click on mail. And those settings are mail settings now, not system settings. They are mail settings or Photoshop.
so I would go to accounts.
So go to settings or accounts, exactly. And here you could add an email account or take off an account, and it brings you back to internet accounts. Oh, that's interesting. It used to take you only to the mail accounts. It took you back to settings and you can turn them all on and off. Old vids and new development. There you go. So it basically takes you to the same place where you set up your, it's good. It's
So I could turn Tidewalker back on in there.
yep, you can. See how now you're
So-
seeing only contacts and notes?
I would go
If you want
here
to
and
see-
click on
if you
this,
want to see the mail, click on that and then turn mail on again.
and then I turn mail back on.
And then boom,
What's
look at
that?
that. There it
Calendar.
is. Instantly, there it is. Type it.
Okay. Oh, that is so cool.
Okay. All right.
Hide
So
that.
yeah. So now I'm gonna stop your share because that was a
Thank
really
you.
good review for everyone. It's when something is a really good review, it's not just an answer to Barbara. So if you guys are like, oh, she took so much, some people think, oh, she took so much time with Barbara. What I was just doing is a review of everything, teaching you how to use the mail. And it helps because I show it to you from the point of view of I already know it, I have it right. but it's really good for you guys to see someone who has some things to change for you to begin to see that. So some people, when they share, I keep them on. It's because I know it's a share that's teaching everyone, and that I want everyone to be checking those things, not just going, oh,
I need a
remember to
book
go to
with
Barbara."
with computer exercises in it.
Yeah. So remember, when I hold on to someone and I take a while with them, it's a learning moment for everyone. If it's a question that's really going to help one, usually I'll take a little bit of time and I'll go, okay, we'll continue later with this one. Okay.
Thank you.
Um, I
That's so
know
cool.
you guys here at home, you have to, is that, it's midday time. It's,
Here.
it's break time. Yeah. So let's take our break. That was a really good point to stop.
account.
Somebody give me 15 minutes.
What time is it now?
Make it round and make it 3 o'clock.
Yeah, that's great.
All right. See you guys at 3 p.m.
Thank you. I need to play with that.
Barbara, mute yourself, please. Yeah.
I was muted.
No, I can hear you. Please mute yourself. Thank you.
All right, can you hear me now? At home? Yeah, okay, great.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Cool, thank you. And just in honor of people who saying that the sounds are bad, I'm gonna remute you all. Thanks for saying yes to let me know that you're muted, but I'm just gonna mute it again one more time and keep going. All right. 15 minutes at home seems like a lot. 15 minutes here just goes by way too quickly. So weird. I don't know what the difference is, but between answering questions, closing up, going into the restroom, coming back, next thing you know, it's been 15 minutes. All right. So
Diane, I have a quick question. and I'll-
yes, Mary Jean.
At some point, will you go through how to delete emails in groups?
Yeah, we're gonna start right now with that. We did start already with email. I'm showing you how to categorize, but I'm gonna keep going right now with explaining more about how to handle
For
email.
those of us who are not like your husband and who have too
For
many.
those of us who are like me, you mean? Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. All right, so here we go. I'm sharing my email again. Oh, okay. Got it. Or did Maud have to leave? Oh, yeah, she had to leave early and Josie's coming back, but she is also leaving a bit early. But Maud had to leave at 3. Okay. So guys, here we go. On the left side, you might be seeing stuff like I see or not, but let's pay attention to that because that's going to help us begin to discover how to delete things or not delete things, how to delete them in groups, what to do. Or first of all, on the left side, this area here, let me just give it a little color. And I say this area here is called favorites. You might remember from when I taught you the Finder, and then over here, like right now for me at least, it says iClouds, then it says Pipeline, then it says, you know, other stuff. So you might remember from when I showed you the Finder, watch my screen. When you hover over something like that, an arrow turns on right there. See that? And if I'm not hovering, there's no arrow there. It's nothing there. You would have to put your mouse there for it to work. But if by mistake you click, there's two things now. There's a plus and an arrow. This little bottom triangle arrow, if I click on it, it collapses my favorites. So suddenly it feels like my favorites are gone. If I collapse my cloud is gone. If I collapse my pipeline's gone. Like I've collapsed everything and suddenly all that stuff that was there is gone. It's not that it's gone. It's just that I'm in this mode called collapse. And if I'm thinking that it's gone, I need to just relax and go back to favorites. Click on that arrow, which is now pointing sideways, and expand it again. Okay, so expand and collapse. Can everyone do that? To learn how to do that. Normally we want it open. We don't want it collapsed. But in case you click on there inadvertently and you think that it's gone, it's just that you have collapsed it. Does that make sense? I see that you're staring for a minute.
I was trying to see if that smart mailbox. Well,
Yes, there's smart mailboxes there. There's a bunch of stuff. But the stuff that we'll have here is different. And this is what a point I'm making. What you have or what I have will be different. First of all, of course, under all inboxes, again, that little arrow, if I expand or collapse, I see all inboxes or each one individually. So whenever you see these little triangles, that's what they all mean. There's more or less. In this case, there's less or more. Okay. Now, under all inboxes, you will have, when you expand, more or less according to how many accounts that you're allowing yourself to see, right? So you might have 1, 2. If you don't have all inboxes, if you just have the word inbox, it's because you're seeing only one account. And the other day, Rod, who was here, was seeing only his pipeline. So he just said inbox because there's no all inboxes to see. So if you guys see the word just inbox, it's because that's the only one you're seeing. If you see all inboxes, you're seeing one, you're seeing at least 2 or more. Okay. In my case, I'm seeing 3. All right. So everyone kind of figured that one out, right? You can see things individually or you can see them all together. That one's pretty clear. Now, whatever you have in there, we had talked about if you read it, it's just because you clicked on it. Even if you didn't read it, it just means that you clicked on it because the moment you click away, that little ball is gone. And so it looks as if I read that, right? But if I want to mark it again, because I want to read it again, then you can, there's so many ways, but what if I didn't read this one and I know I have to read it? So say that this one I'm supposed to read, but it already appears as read, but I know that I can't pay enough attention to it. I'll read it tonight after class or whatever. Then I can right click and mark it as unread. And the little ball appears again, okay? That's in case you're using the ball to wonder whether you dealt with the email or not. If you never pay attention to the balls anyway, then who cares if it says read or unread, right? But I'm just showing you how you would get it back. Now watch my screen for a minute. For those of you who have a touchpad or a magic mouse, because if you have a regular PC mouse, this won't work. But if you have a magic mouse or the touchpad, then you can also swipe to the right or to the left. So if you swipe to the right or to the left, depending on the kind of account you have, some of them have a different way. So right now, if I go to the right, then I could choose to delete from there, or I could swipe to the other way and I could also mark it as unread from there. So basically, right click gives you all these choices, including mark as unread or mark as read, move to junk, mute, delete, block, reply. There's so many choices under here. Versus swipe right or left gives you the top choices that people tend to choose. Does that make sense? So it's like 3 choices in this case. I can mark it as read, I can mark it as unread, I can tell it to remind me, or I can delete it. Now, who remembers what the remind me was?
I love that option.
You put a time on it for
Yeah.
it to come back to you, okay? And I use that, as I said, for invitations, so a lot, and or for things that I need to reply to. So say that there's something that needs a reply by Tuesday, I will remind myself by Monday so that in case I didn't see it, then on Monday the email appears again and I still have one day to do it. Does that make sense? So I don't get a reminder or anything. I just get the email back again that day. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if right now it's 2:26 p.m., right? What if I want this thing to remind me of itself in an hour? At 3:26 p.m. we'll still be in class. So I'm going to right click. I'm going to click on right swipe, I'm sorry. And I'm going to say remind me in an hour. Now, if I want a specific time or day, I would go to later and then I'd go remind me on November 21st at 2 p.m., right? But right now, the default ones are tonight, tomorrow, or an hour. I'm going to say remind me in an hour. Okay. So notice that now the schedule has changed to 4:08 p.m. and it is right now 3:08 p.m. So it knows that at 4:08 p.m. it should come to the top. Now this is kind of weird that I'm using the top one because it's already at the top, right? So it's kind of like a moot point. But if I were to go to something from, you know, I'm scrolling down a bunch. So here I have something from August 26th. Okay. What if I were to say to this one, remind me later, and I'm not going to say in an hour, I'm going to go to this one and I'm going to say, remind me at 3:15 p.m. today. Today is 10:22, yeah, schedule. So it's called, remember, Adobe license expiring. Can you all remember? Adobe license is expiring.
Right, it didn't show what it didn't show.
I clicked, okay, I clicked on the word remind me. Oh, doesn't the remind me not show itself? Yeah. So I said, remind me later. And then it,
It's grayed out.
oh, okay. So let me share the entire window. Sometimes Zoom does that. Here we go. So I went remind me later, and this pops in and I put in a 3:15 time. I can give it any date I want. I can tell it, remind me on, you know, November 22nd, and remind me on, right now I got a text from a friend of mine that's arriving here. She's going to be in Santa Barbara between November 18th and 24th. And this is just a personal thing that I got during break. So knowing me, unless I remind myself or I make an appointment with her right now, and then I put it in my calendar, November will come and go. And when she comes, I won't see her. So this would be a perfect example if I would go, remind me in a week when I have time, or remind me on Saturday. And then on Saturday, this email will pop up to the top and I'll like, oh, let me call her. Let's do, you know. And so right now, this one's going to pop up again at 3:15. It is now 3:10. So I'm going to schedule it. And I'm telling everyone, remember, it's called All Campus Adobe License. And the reason I'm telling you, remember that, is because right now, if I go to the top of my inbox, nothing's there. At 3:15, it'll pop in as if it's a new email that just arrived. Okay? So we'll wait and see, and at some point it'll come in. Okay? So that's the remind me feature. Now I could have also done right click remind me. Okay? So basically, right click is all the choices of what you can do with this email. Swiping right or swiping left is only a few choices. Okay? Now notice that to this one, when I swiped right, it said clear, it said delete. But now in this one, same person, pipeline, now when I write, it says clear instead of delete. Like, how come? Well, because since I put in a little remind me, it won't let me delete it, or then the remind me won't exist. So now the choice is clear. Just saying how sometimes things shift and you go, how come it always says delete? And now this one now says clear, when before it said, it's because if I delete it, it won't be able to come back in and be reminded, right? So windows change. You might expect to find a delete there, and yet for one or another, you might find something else. When you go over here, you might expect unread or remind me, but then you might go to another and it has two other choices. Now it seems to be pretty consistent, but it might have two other choices. If I go to an email that arrived from the cloud, it seems to have the same choices, but like, for example, in my personal email, I have it set up that one of my accounts, it actually reverses itself. Long story, because I made a different choice of what I wanted in there. Now, you can choose that. You can choose to have different things appear when you swipe right or left in those preferences that I told you about, in all those settings. You can choose what you want to show up when you swipe right or left. That's for people who love the swipe. Otherwise, just right click and deal with it from here. I kind of am more accustomed to the right click, plus it has more options. I don't have to be guessing which one will show up. So I kind of right click. Hold on one second. There's stuff here under this menu that I haven't taught you yet. Please don't start asking me individually. I want to first go to the generalities of email and, like, deleting and all that kind of stuff, because there's 25 choices. And if I go to describe one little one that you see, this is not the right time. Just saying, because I can imagine you saw something you've never seen, that this might be the time to ask me. It's not. But anyway, yeah. What's your question? That was it. It's like I read your mind. It's just that I know. It's so funny. I've taught for so many years. I know that the moment I say a certain thing a certain way and the hands shoot up, I know just know it. But I always give you a chance, because I might be totally wrong and you might have a different question. But I could tell it was one of those. So hang in there. Hang in there. Because I really want to get a bit more explanation of what's here on the left side first before we get into those details. That said, if you're alone and you're listening with half an ear because you know what's in here and you want to start playing around with them, go for it. Play around with them and then ask me more specific questions. So Mary Jean, yes.
This might be easy. Can you please allow me to come into the class on my iPad so I can follow what you're doing?
Yeah, you need to go to your iPad, click on
I'm
the
on.
link.
I'm waiting for you to let me in.
You're not in my waiting room. Yeah, go try again. You're not in my waiting room. I can't let you in right now if you're not there. Go ahead
Okay, so I'm
and,
going to the Zoom link from this morning.
yeah. Okay, it's not working, so click on it again and try again, because you're not there right now. No, because that's a different account. You don't have to sign out. This is on your computer. You're signed in. That's good. You can then go, but you have to go to your iPad, to your email, like that device, and click on that device. But she looks like she did it, but for some reason it's not coming in. So cancel that access that you're trying to do where you seem to be in a waiting room, and then click on the link again, and then we'll
Okay.
see. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think you were right about it. It would be so helpful to do this. Okay, waiting. Here I am. Join. Here I-
Okay. See, now you just appeared in my waiting room. So I'll let
Excellent.
you
Thank
in.
you so much.
There you go.
Okay.
And by the way, if I happen to miss it because I was helping someone, there's a place here in participants. You would be in this not joined waiting room. So I would have seen you in the waiting room. And that's why I said to sign out and sign in again, because even if I'm not paying attention to that, if you call my attention to it like you just did, I should see you in the waiting room. But since you weren't there, that's why I told you to leave and start again. Okay. But leave from the device she's signing in, not from the one that's in is in. It's the second one that needed to get in. All right, let me minimize this again to just the mail. It's a bit easier when I don't show everything around me. But yes, when I have a pop-up that I keep talking and you don't see it, as you did, tell me. I don't see what you're doing because little pop-ups, Zoom sometimes consider it's a different app. And since I told it show this window instead of everything, it just shows that window. And right, I might get a few more pop-ups right now. I don't know, as I see, like they did allow for, this is also a pop-up and they do show you that one. But then they didn't show you the little, when I clicked on remind me, it even showed you that one. It was only when I went to the remind me later see that window is grayed out. It's, I'm seeing it, but you're not seeing it. So I don't know what you see until you tell me, okay? All right, cool. So that's what happens here. Now, wait, how about all those that you don't want to receive? So I'm gonna go over here to SBCC Teacher where I have stuff that I don't want. And I'm going to go over to promotions where I have stuff that I truly don't want. And I'm going to show you here how do you delete a bunch of stuff at a time. Okay. Now, everyone, if I know that I don't want 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row, say that these 4 I don't want. And anytime on any program in the world on computers, when you want to delete things that are touching, contiguous, right next to each other, you use this thing called click, shift, click. So it's like bookends. You click the first one that you don't want. You hold down your shift key. You keep it held down. And then you go to the bottom one and everything in between gets selected. Okay. So that would be shift, click, shift. And now if I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that I don't want, I can now delete them all at once. Deleting them, I keep liking the right click delete. There it is. I could have also done the go to the right and hit delete, or I could have gone all the way up here to the top where it says hit delete. All of those would delete them. But remember the most important rule? They're just going to another folder called deleted. They're not disappearing for your computer. Okay? So just like on your computer, it's like a 2-step deletion process. It goes to a folder called delete, and in this computer, and then mail, it's not called the folder, it's called a mailbox. It goes into a mailbox called deleted, same thing, folder, mailbox. And then it sits there until you empty the mailbox. Does that make sense? So if I now delete all of these, for whichever of the many ways, I'm going to do the right click version, and I'm going to hit delete. They're gone. Technically, they're gone. But are they really? No. Now, I'm going to just for a second do Command Z, just so that we remember one of the names. PC Mag Tech Deals. Can we all remember that one? And there were 5 more. So it's PC Mag Tech Deals. So I'm going to delete them again. PC Mag Tech Deals. They're gone. They're gone. They're not there. Oh, well, this is another one. So it's one from today. So that's not such a good one. It's a 10:50 a.m. PC Mag Tech Deals. Okay. Because I happen to have another one there. So I'm going to delete them. They're gone. All right. Where in the world do I find that delete folder? Right? If I look here on the left, as long as I have trashed something in the past, then I have a trash. These are contextual. If I have never trashed something, I won't see them, which is why some of you guys will wonder, well, I don't have VIPs, I don't have flags, I don't have a remind me. Well, remind me wasn't there until I put a reminder. The moment that reminder appears, remind me will disappear from there. It's only there if I have a draft, it'll be there. If I set something, it'll be there. If I have something in the trash, that'll be there. Does that make sense, you guys? Yeah. Otherwise, you'll see after the remind me appears again, that it won't be there. So now let me head over to the trash. And in the trash, there it is. It's the 10:50 a.m. PC Mag Tech Deals. I have 419 messages in my trash. Which trash? Well, this is all trash. You see that? Well, guess what? All trash can also be separated. How about SBCC teacher trash? 53 messages. How about pipeline? 364. How about cloud? 2. Does that make sense? So it's just individuals or all trash. Since I want some trash left so that I can always have trash to demo, I'm going to go ahead and go to just the SBCC teacher trash, but it's the same deal. I can choose independently what I want to trash or not, or I can just say, hey, it's trash, it's trash. I don't care. I want to get rid of all the trash. Your choice, right? So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to my SBCC teacher trash, and I'm going to right click, and I'm going to erase the deleted items, which seems weird, right? They've been deleted, but it's erase those deleted items, like get rid of them. Does that make sense? Yeah, because when I put them in the trash, it's like a office paper desk that doesn't smell, where you put little bits of paper and suddenly months later you empty it out because you don't put much in there. And so it versus the kitchen that we always empty it out all the time, right? Because it's smelly. So this one, it could live there forever with all your messages with you not even noticing. I'm feeling that if many of you went to the trash, and you might discover you have thousands of things in there, it occurs to me that that might have happened because you never knew. Guess what? I could also go to all trash and erase all trash, and I would erase every single thing that's there. Notice that I also have a thing called erase junk mail, which I haven't showed you yet, but I could just erase all the stuff that's junk mail right under there as well from the all trash, because I might have, and do you see junk here? No, I don't know how to see my junk mail. I'll show you in a minute, but it is an option. And I'm going to tell you what that junk mail is. But right now, I'm just going to delete the trash from my SBC teacher. But then I go, but wait, I really needed this one. That one shouldn't have been trashed. Before I erase them, I can still recover them. Yeah. I'm like, oh, phew, I'm glad I saw it. I didn't really want to delete this one. That was a mistake. So I can right click and I can move it back to wherever I want to move it. I can, and what I do, I just put it back in my inbox. So if this is a good one and it's from SBCC teacher, I can just grab it and just drop it again. And I'm going to take it back and drop it into SBCC teacher inbox. You see that? So I've taken it out of the trash. Phew, I'm so glad I didn't empty my trash, but now I'm ready to empty my trash. Now I'm going to right click and erase deleted items, and boom, all my trash is going to be a big deal. So it's like, are you sure you want to erase all the deleted items in the mailbox and in the trash mailbox and the selected trash mailbox? Yeah, because I'm choosing to delete only one. These are permanent and this action cannot be undone. So it's really, unless you don't read things, you might think, oh, I can recover it. No, this is the true erasure. From when you delete it from the trash, it's gone from your computer, okay? So I'm going to say erase. And boom, my SBCC teacher trash is now empty. Since I didn't erase the rest, but I go to all trash. Oh, I had said, oh, it did all my trash. Okay. Did I say it to the all trash instead of to the individual one? I thought I had marked the teacher. It could be. Okay, well, that's new. It should have deleted only that. But it had warned me about all trash, and I was talking to you guys. Okay, well, never mind. Don't worry. It looks like you have to get rid of them all, or plan B, you have to select the ones you want to delete. And I'm going to put some more stuff in the trash now, and we'll go and do that. So I'm going to go back to my SBC teacher and let me delete some more stuff. I'm going to delete all the next, 5. And I'm going to delete these again. So now when I
Wait.
go back to my all trash, I have 6 messages, which is not the same as 360.
Wait.
But what?
You're doing the click. I don't know how you said you click, shift,
Yeah,
click.
I go click on one thing, hold down the shift key and click again.
Hold down the shift key.
Yes, shift.
Okay.
Keep it held down
You click
and then
you
click in the
shift.
bottom.
And mine's not highlighting.
Okay.
Oh, wait,
so
wait.
Select something first,
Yeah,
hold down your shift key and select the one right underneath.
okay.
Did it select 2 now?
I've got 5 selected.
Okay, so you click select.
Unshift. And
Now, if you right click, when you delete all, how many do I have? 6 are about to be deleted. Does that make
okay,
sense?
got it. All right,
Now,
thank
let me
you.
teach you something else. What if you're not so indiscriminate? What if you are actually in one that's good, but you're done with it and you don't want to get rid of everything? You just want to get rid of 2 or 3 that are not contiguous. They're not touching. The shift only works for touching. And I know I've taught you this before for the files, but it applies here too. Say I want to get rid of that one, hold down my command key, and then I get rid of that one, and then I get rid of that one. So I did not want to get rid of all of them at once. Does that make sense? So these are good, they need to stay. Now, again, it doesn't matter that they're all separate. I need to just right click and delete one of them. It doesn't matter which one I right click on. I can right click on that one. I can right click on that one. It needs to be that I right click on one of the selected ones. If I were to click this one, it's not going to work. So you need to right click on one of the ones that's selected and then say delete, and those 3 will go to the trash. Now on my trash, I have 9. So what if I had 509 like before, and I didn't want to delete everything, which that one caught me by surprise. If I didn't want to delete all my trash, if I only want to delete SPCC teacher, but I have 509, so I can't go in and click on one of each other, right? Well, there's 2 solutions. One, the easiest one, that's the one I always use, but there are 2. So the easiest one is to learn the shortcut for select all, which again, on every single computer app in the entire world that I know of, select all is the same shortcut. On a Mac, it's Command A. On a PC, it's Control A, but Command A or Control A are always mean select all no matter what app you're in. So watch, I'm an SPCC teacher. I click on this and I say Command A. And in this case, it's only 9, but had I done it earlier to my 550, all 550 would have been selected. Does that make sense? So for one of you guys want to just suddenly just delete every single thing I have, then the Command A gets everything. But I told you that was only one of the solutions. What's the second solution? You click on the top one, it's the click shift click. You click on the top one, you scroll all the way down to the bottom one, which you can scroll really quickly down 500. And you shift click. So let me show you, and I'm not going to delete these, but I'm going to go to pipeline. I have a ton of emails here. You see that? Ton of emails. It would, if I click on the top one. Oh, by the way, the Adobe license warning expiring, it arrived. Remember that I've been busy, so I haven't showed you, but look, it arrived to the top. And it says it's a remind me. That was the one that we had told it to remind me in 10 minutes. I wasn't obviously teaching at that point, but there it is. Okay. You select the top one.
Hey, Deanna,
Now,
are
if
you
want,
are you sharing your screen?
yeah, but let me start again, because whenever people say that, that means that you lost it. So here we go. Can you see it now?
There we go. Thank you.
Okay. All right. I stopped trying to get people to see it. I know that somehow it's hiding under something. So by resharing it always pops to the top. It's easier than trying to get each person to find the screen, which is still there somewhere. All right. So here we go. I have thousands of emails in here. In fact, 23,000, whatever. I have so many. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this one. And if I scroll to get to the bottom, it's going to be a long time, right? But notice that as I'm scrolling, I see, look, watch over here. This thing is big because I just pointed it, but before it was small. Let me actually click away so it shows up again. When I select something and I start moving down, pay attention to that little black mark that if I touch is going to become bigger, but you see that? So that's my scroll bar. So if I want to get quickly to the bottom, I can just grab it and drag it to the bottom. And it's just taken me to 5/4/2017. That's 23,008 messages. I can hold down the shift and click the bottom. And right now I am selecting 23,000 messages.
You didn't have to be holding the shift key the whole time you were doing it.
No, the shift, click, shift. Now let me scroll all the way to the top again. The shift, click, shift. The second click, you just, so I can click here. My hand is free. I scroll. I got to where I want to go. Now I hold down shift and I click. So it's the moment that you do that second click that you need to be holding down the shift. Does that make sense? So if it's a short little, if it's just from here to here, that's it. You shift, click, shift. But if you have a ways to go, you click, you go there, you start scrolling, you go there. Now I hold down shift. So it's still shift, click, shift. Only in the middle I had to scroll down, and now I click. And literally, if I say trash right now, 23,849 messages will go to the trash, which I'm not, but just so you can see that I'm going to roll up again. Okay, so this is always the quick way. When you have thousands, when you have a couple hundred, just doing like that, boom, I'm already down a couple hundred, right? So that's just a quick scroll. But for a real big number, you better go to that one to scroll all the way down. Okay, so that's a quick way to get rid. Go to your trash, and you can individually now do that to just the teacher ones. You would click, scroll down, and click again. Delete only all of the trash in literally 1 second, but you're still left with all your pipeline and everything else, which I now just got rid of because I had done it all. Give me hold on, let me clear your answers. Give me a yes if that worked for you. The whole click, right click, delete, find your trash. If all of that is comfy and you're good, give me a yes. Sue, I see your hand is up, but Josie's hand was up too, so I'm going to answer Josie's first, and then I'll get to you.
Just real quick, you gave the shortcut command, but I'm so used to just going from the scroll, or not the scroll bar, but
Yeah.
the toolbar on top, or edit and select all. I mean, it's just the shortcut, but I generally work from that
Oh, from the
toolbar
very top up there.
edit.
Yeah, so let me share what she's talking about. For people who don't like any shortcuts and who have been doing it the same way for 20 years, so why change? Which is perfectly valid. All the menus on top that have had all these choices since way before her shortcuts are still there. So you go over here to edit, and you have select all right there. And guess what? Here's the little shortcut for it, Command A, right? And then you can select all from there. And then you trash them from there, right? So just then you say delete from there. So all I'm saying is, from Josie's point, is that just about everything that I'm teaching you here has its counterpart or its origin up in these menu bars. It's just that now, for me, knowing the shortcut, it's much quicker. Now, one things you can't do up there is select 5 or
right,
4
right.
disjointed ones, right? So for that one, you still need to know how to do that. And then you can go all the way up there to say edit, delete. But for me, it's easier to do a right click. But that is completely, I always say, I can right now not do a right click, not do any. Let me go to a place where I'm ready to trash stuff. Hold on, let me go to SBZ Teacher Promotions. Watch. I can select all 3 of these, and look what I'm about to do. No right click, no menu, no anything. I'm going to head over to the delete key and hit delete. And I just did the delete key, which also works. There's so many ways to do everything. And if you know one that works for you, do you need to learn 3 more? No. If I'm teaching them to you and you learned one, do you need to learn 2 others? No. If you are so comfortable that you're ready to start learning 2 or 3 ways to do that, go for it. Learn 2 or 3 ways to do it. Does that make sense? But you don't need, as opposed to me, who teaches them, you don't need to know all ways to do something. It's fine to do it one way. And when I'm saying no change, I mean it. I'm not being like, but she said, it's so comfortable to you. Why complete a 3rd way or a 4th way? Now, if you love right clicks, do right clicks. If you love the keyboard, Command delete, hit the keyboard. If you prefer going to the menus, go to the menus. There's at least 3 ways to do every single thing. And for some, there's 5 or 7, right? Okay, Sue, your hand was up.
Yes, I have 3 different trashes. One at the end of favorites and 2 interspersed between Pipeline Google.
Great point. So listen, this is the next thing I was going to teach. So I'm glad you said that. First of all, let me change my share again to include only the window that I'm showing. Okay. So I've been showing you the favorites, okay? Under favorites, you have all inboxes or all trash, where you can go to individual ones, right? All sent. If you've been sending emails, you can go and see the things that you've been sending. If you've created any drafts, what's a draft? If you write an email and don't send it, it's considered a draft. So that's all it is. So you might go to drafts and discover a bunch of emails that you go, why is this still here? It's just that you might have already sent another one and you forgot that you left one half written. So you might go to all drafts and find stuff from, 3 years ago. You go, what's this not in here? Doesn't mean that it's a good one. On the other hand, you all must have received today at some point a message from me that says, can you please fill out this evaluation survey of me? You probably all received it, right? Didn't I send it today to everyone?
I didn't get it.
Did I not send it to this
No,
group?
no.
Get it.
For each class, I have to send it again. Okay, then I have it on the, well, I must have put it a different schedule because you can schedule when to send them. But thing is that I'm going to have to send one of these to each one of my classes. So I just have 5 pre-written with no recipients. And then when it's time for the class, I just grab it. It's in my drafts. And I just put in the recipients and off it goes to that class. So I have 5 already pre-written. See what I mean? So that's an example of draft. Now, if I go here to SBCC teacher draft, and it looks like I have something, someone invited me to edit something and whatever, that I'd started responding and I didn't respond. And this is from April 2021. See there? Like, I guess at some point I started writing something and then something else happened and it's still hanging out there. I'm going to leave it because I always have to show something of how things can be old. Right? These are drafts that I never sent. Okay. So if you don't have anything you never sent, you will not see the word drafts because you don't have anything there. So contextual as it is, it won't just say sitting there saying 0. It just won't be there. All right. So that's what's here in the favorites. Well, guess what? We can choose what we want in the favorites or not. This is by default what ends up in the favorites. Let me show you now what Sue was talking about. Here, when I was demoing collapsing or expanding, I collapsed everything else. But what this is each one of my accounts, okay? And one that says on my Mac. I'm going to talk about that one in a minute. Many of you have it, many of you don't have it. SBCC Teacher, Pipeline, iCloud. And when they are open, you might have not even noticed it because it just looks like so much stuff here. This is how it's been looking like. A bunch of stuff there, right? Depending if they were open or closed. And what this is, and now I'm going to close them to show you one at a time so you can focus on them a little bit better. Here we go. This is each account with all of the choices that account has. These are just the favorites, but there might be more things that each account has. So if I click on iCloud, all the choices that I have here are inbox, drafts, sent, junk. Remember how junk is not up there? Junk, trash, archive, and then something that says taxes and something that says friends. What's that? Those are, we call them mailboxes, although they're basically folders, but because it's the mail, we call them mailboxes. The only reason. And again, why am I saying it has that name? Because look, I'm going to share my entire screen again. Because up here at the very top, it's going to talk about mailboxes. And that word that's been new mailboxes is the same as that word saying new folder, okay? It's basically a holder of stuff that you're gonna, in particular, use. So watch, my iCloud has the ones that come with the account, plus 2 that I've made. That whenever I get a receipt, that should go and be dealt with when I get to the time I'm starting to work on my taxes, I can drag it in there. Or emails from friends, I can drag it in there. Those are 2 sample. I'll show you how to do that in a minute, but watch. Just give me a few more minutes of your time before we start doing this. But if I go to my pipeline, I click on this. Ooh, look at all the stuff under my pipeline. Pipeline is a Gmail account. Gmail creates a folder called important. It's a folder that called important. It's kind of equivalent to our primary on the Mac. It's what they think is important for you. So if you click on that, this is what Gmail thinks is important, and it's filtered out like social media and stuff like that. But that's because it's a Gmail account. You wouldn't find that on a Yahoo account, for example. It depends each company what they provide. Does that make sense? Then I have my pipeline only inbox. This, looking at this right here, is exactly the same as if I had gone to all inboxes and looked at my pipeline inbox right there. In fact, no change. Nothing changed here because this is my pipeline inbox and this is my pipeline inbox. This is up here under favorites, is a shortcut to that place. Does that make sense? Then comes, why do I have, and this was Sue's question, I have a trash right here, she said, and I have a trash right there. I have 3 trashes and I have the all trash. Because this is the true trash for pipeline. Okay. This is the true trash for iCloud. And this is the true trash for SBCC Teacher, where I just trash some stuff. Got it? But this is, can you imagine if I had to check my inbox right here, and I would have to open this to check that inbox, and I would have to open that to check that inbox? Sure, I could do that. But isn't it much easier to check all inboxes there? So what you put in favorites is the stuff that you do all the time. If you check your inbox all the time, it can be in favorites. If you check your trash all the time, it can be in favorites. If you want to check your sent, then you have it in favorites. But if for chance you never check all sent, then you don't have to have it here. Watch. I can choose to put something else here. What if I want to see my junk, not under each account, junk there, junk there, junk there. What if I wanted to see all my junk all at once? It's not under favorites. You see how there's no choice for junk? I can go to this plus sign and I can choose, I want to see all junk. Okay, so now all junk is at the top. So now I can go to see my junk from each account. Does that make sense? Or I can go, nah, I don't care. And I can say remove from favorites. That makes sense? And now my junk is still there. I just don't have a shortcut to it. Got it? Does that answer your question, Sue? Why you had the trashes up at the top and then the same things at the bottom? Because
Yeah,
yes, you can go to each one.
If I add the all of the junks from the bottom, will that, it'll come up with the same number as the trash on top?
Exactly the same, because this inbox for iCloud is identical to this inbox from iCloud. In fact, when I click on one or the other, nothing changes. Look, the number is 33 because it is the same thing. It's just that instead I could just never, I could collapse these all the time. Just collapse, 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 which is kind of why I have them, because I like less clutter in my mind, in my eyes. I have them cluttered. This is more than enough for me. I can go to all these shortcuts. And the day that I need to go check one of the ones that isn't here, I go, oh, I should go check my SBCC Teacher junk or my pipeline junk. Then I open my pipeline and I go to junk right there. It's kind of like the whole thing of, do you want to be having your Christmas decorations in the middle of your dining room floor in a box? Or do you want to have them in the attic, right? Because if I'm not going to use them until Christmas, why have them in the living room? So it's like there's many more things that I might not want to see all the time. And that's what's down here. Okay? So it's mailbox that you make, and we can talk about which mailboxes we're going to make, and or it's stuff that's in the main boxes that you just don't have in the favorites. Okay? If that's clear and it makes sense to you, let me clear your feedback. If that makes sense to you and it's clear and you got it and you see how these are just repetitions and you can add or take away from them at will, then give me a yes. If there's any questions about it, this one's a good one to keep talking about. Okay. I'm seeing yeses coming up from home. Everyone from home, please give me a yes on that one or not. And if there's any confusion, this is the time to ask. Carol here in person already gave me a yes. Gigi and Philly are good with that. By the way, Phil, you don't need to turn off the computer that you're sitting at, the school computer, just letting it go to sleep. The school computer, you don't need to turn it off. Just leaving it sitting there is enough. It self turns off. Just noticing that you turn it off. Plus, if you were to turn it off, you would never do it with a button. Just saying, if you do it with a button, it's like you're pulling the plug. Just a quick little, let me just, since we're all here, if you want to turn off a Mac, you go to Apple, shut down. You don't use the buttons. The buttons as if you're pulling the plug. because in these computers, they set it up because they want them to stay on. And the reason they want them to stay on, and let me explain why in your case, you would understand. All these are updated and controlled by a command center at the Wing campus. And when they want to make an update, they suddenly send an update to all the computers. And if one has been turned off, that one doesn't get the update. So someone has to drive here, come into the room, turn the one that didn't get because someone turned it off, and then they can, you know what I mean? So we should not turn computers off, just saying. Just log out, yeah. Well, at this point, yeah, because that way it stays on, but it'll stay on with the good old sign in. You don't need to sign in, just turn it off. Okay, now, that said, I know that it probably happens, and when they're going to do a major update, they probably should send them one out to make sure everything's on, because there's always a student or another who did that. But just since you're here and I saw it happen, mostly I don't see it happen, I'll just let you know. Okay, Sue, your hand is up, and since I had cleared it, I'm assuming it's a new question because I had cleared your hand. So what's up?
It's a new question.
Yeah.
What's the difference between the archives and the trash?
Okay, very different. Great.
Yeah.
question.
It was never explained anywhere that I looked.
Yeah, it's not, and it's weird. In the far, far past, we just had our email. And when it arrived, if you wanted to save it, you would save it into a mailbox you made, like emails from my mom or friends' emails or what's that? Recipes, yeah. I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting so many less, other than work, I'm getting so many less emails than before from friends and family because now people are more texting or using other services. I'm just using it less. I'm using it for work a lot, but I really aren't using it as much as a regular method of communication. But in the past, yeah, someone would send me a recipe. Now they'll probably text me a recipe. That's the point I'm making. It's not that it isn't just as useful. It's just that I'm getting less of that. But yeah, I'll still get receipts from something you purchased and then needs to go into the taxes, stuff like that. So those are mailboxes you make. And when you make it and you put it in there, you take it out of the flow of the inbox.
Oh.
Okay, so hold on. That's not archived yet. That's just, that was Barbara making. Here, let me mute Barbara for a minute.
I need,
Hold on, I need to, where's my other mouse? Okay. Okay. So here's the thing, that when you have something that you truly want to separate, like in my personal email, I have, whenever I get an email from, a loved one that I don't, something that I don't want to throw away, because there's emails that are transitional, and then there's emails that are something that matters, like when we used to receive a letter. You don't want to get, some people throw all the letters away and some people keep them. I'm a keeper of letters person when it's a letter that's saying something important. So I'm a keeper of those kind of emails. But if I keep it in the inbox, that's part of the 24,000 messages. So, and this is something my husband is very good at, and that's why he's an inbox zero. He doesn't completely delete everything. The stuff that's important, he puts in a mailbox dedicated to that. He puts less than I would. He does delete more than I would, but he does keep stuff because, that's where you get your receipts for your stuff. So you would have to make yourself a mailbox. So say that I'm an SBCC teacher over here and I want to make myself a mailbox. That's what this is. The receipts, stuff, stuff that you put in there. So you make these and put them in there. But give me a second, because if you wonder, how do you make them? Let me show you. Let's all make at least one. Think of one that you might want to make. And I find that receipts, or I called it here, in another place I called it taxes, because the receipt is only important to me to save. Well, sometimes if you have a receipt for like something, here we're talking about, what was it? Laundry machines. Well, you might want to keep it in case for a warranty issue. Okay, so not just for taxes, but if it's a general receipts one, if you go to all inboxes and you go to transactions, this should be receipts. But if you have receipts from 2017, it'll still be, you could do a search for the Maytag receipt and it would probably pop up. But what if you don't remember the details of that email? It would have been better when you got that, that had you just dragged it in there. So how do you do that? You would say that this is a receipt. That's important. First, this is important. I have 283 messages and transactions. You see that? 49 of them have been unread, but 283 in total. 283, remember that number. I'm going to say, ooh, this is an important one to keep. I'm going to drag it and drop it in receipts. And now it says 282. I have actually taken it out of my inbox. I have put it somewhere else. I will not find it in my inbox anymore. That's how you clear an inbox, by deleting what's not necessary, trashing what you don't want, moving to a mailbox that which you want to keep. So that's how you keep an inbox zero versus keeping them sitting there clogging your inbox. Inbox should technically be for that, right? For just what's coming in, and then it moves on. Okay, so how do you make these? Right here now I should see the Apple receipt. There it is, right? That's the one that I just put in there. But when I go to my inbox, it shouldn't be there anymore. So how did I make that in there? Well, ideally then you would have your account selected. So ideally you'd be in that account. How you be in that account, you could also be in that account by selecting only that one up here or something like that. So just make sure you're in only that account. And then you would go, yes, up to, and you could do it over here. Like SBC teacher, there's a plus sign, I could do it there. Or as Josie said, you could go up there and make a new mailbox from there. But I'm going to go just over here to my SBCC teacher, and I'm going to put this little plus sign and new mailbox. Where do I put it? SBC teacher. What if I was wrong and I actually wanted it somewhere else? Well, okay, I'll put it in my iCloud, for example. Or no, I wanted it in my pipeline. Got it? So you can change, but I did say I wanted it in my SBC teacher. So I'm going to make a new one, and they're called class information, class info. So everyone think of one mailbox that would be good to have in one of your accounts. And I'm going to redo this. So we all want to make one mailbox, and then you can set up, as we did with the file management system, as homework between here and Monday, you can set up mailbox that you think would really matter. Examples are, for me, I have, as I said, friends or loved ones emails that really matter to stay. Then I have like the receipts. I used to have like a subscriptions and things like that, but actually with this new system, I don't necessarily use that one anymore. Anyway, so either click on this plus sign over there, or go up to mailbox and say new mailbox. When you say mailbox from there, again, it'll ask you which account, and you'll say in SBCC teacher, for example. Now, could I have sub mailboxes? Yeah. Could I have something that says, I want a folder called SBCC, and then in there I'll have another folder called Mac classes or Illustrator classes or Photoshop classes, because I want those emails to go straight there? Yes, I can. I wouldn't do that though at this point, but yes, for taxes, I might have a big folder called taxes, and in there I might have taxes for receipts for 2024, 2023, 2025. Does that make sense? And then you don't have to have all your taxes receipts in one big folder. So right now I'm going to just in SBCC teacher, put one called, what did I just say? Class info. So for those of you who are every time looking for my Zoom text, guess how easy it would be if you were to make a subfolder in your pipeline account, for example, called Zoom links, right? And so the first day, when the first time that you get one of my, hey, here's a Zoom link for the Mac Level 2 class, how good would it be for you to then put that in that folder? So then every time you wonder if my email arrived or not, or how do I get, some of you guys tell me, oh, I can never find your Zoom links. I'm like, I send the email each time, but guess what? Last Monday, it looks like I didn't send the email. Many of you told me you hadn't gotten it. Well, guess what? If you had gotten to your mailbox called class info, you would have saved one of the ones I sent you, and there it would be. And you will have it there. And then maybe when you're done with the class at the end of, this month, you can just delete it, because then it's not necessary anymore. But as long as you're in the class, you could have it separated from the mass of emails, and you won't have to go all the way back to September to find my link. Does that make sense, you guys? an example of using your mailboxes for a practical use where who cares if I send the email or not, if I messed it up, if I sent it to my, it happened to me a few times that I'll send my Mac link to my digital design techniques students because I cross my rosters and you're all sitting there waiting and then suddenly I think, I mean, I think it happened this year that suddenly all of you guys were waiting in my Mac level 2, but I had sent you guys a link to Mac level 1 and I had to go, or it was the other way around. It was in an intro to Mac and I had to go find you guys in my Mac level 2 class because I had sent you the wrong link. So that's great. I make mistakes. So you guys would always have the link if you put it in there. People say, where would I save it? Well, save it in your mailbox. There's other places you could download it as a file to your computer, but this is the easiest way because this really has an expiration date of at the end of 6 classes, you don't need it anymore. At that point, you can right click and delete it, right? Because that's a moot point. That link isn't there useful anymore. The important thing is that when you take something out of the inbox and put it in a mailbox, it will be there and it won't be in the inbox anymore. Okay, so now that was a long way around to Sue's question. Well, what's the all archive? Well, the archive is all the emails that arrive. It's bizarre to me, and it showed up. Pipeline, Google created an archive, I'd say almost 13, 15 years ago. I don't know, a long time that archive that exists for Gmail. The cloud began more like 10 years ago. Like when it first appeared, I'm like, what's this? What's the point of this? Then iCloud picked up on it. I am still a little bit at odds because I am the kind of person who lives with everything in their inbox because I'm not my husband. But if you go to the archive,
I checked for it for the first time today when I had this question, and I've got stuff in 2011. I was shocked. Right?
yeah. So the question is, it's everything that arrives. If you haven't deleted it, or if you haven't, yeah, it's, yeah. So if you've never gotten rid of it or put it in a mailbox or done nothing with it, you'll find it in the archives. That's really, but if you delete it from there, it'll delete, yeah, from the inbox too. If it's still in, so this, it goes away. Yeah, because that means you haven't put it anywhere. So let's, for example, let's find this one called deposit photos that arrived at 9 a.m. It's in my archive SPCC teacher, all mail. You see that? So deposit photos, 9 a.m. Let me go to my SPCC teacher and let me go to 9 a.m. You see that there it is. So it's in my inbox as well. And that's the part that I never understand. If it's in your inbox, why do you need it in archive? If I now move it to, I'll put it into class info. You just saw it. It's an archive and it's an inbox, right? The same one. I'm going to move it and I'm going to move it to my class info that I just created. It's gone from inbox. And if I go to class info, there it is, deposit photos. So if I go to my archive, it's still there. It's like, it's all your emails. So when you have an uncleaned inbox like me, it's like it repeats itself. But when you do not have it, when you are very careful about putting everything in mailboxes, if you go to archive, it's equivalent to all mail. Like this one here is now registering that it arrived, no matter that I also put it under class info. It's not in my inbox anymore though, because I took it out of my inbox, but it's still in my archive, right? So if I delete it from here, it will delete from my inbox because I'm deleting that email, no matter that it's showing up in different places. And that is how it should work. Let's check. You know that I took it out of all inbox. How did I take it out of all inbox? By putting it in that's my 15 minutes.
You class
How did I
info.
take it out of my inbox? By putting it in the class info, right? So there it is, it's in class info, but it's still under archive. See, in all mail. So I'm going to delete it from archive now. Delete it from archive. It still shouldn't be in my inbox, but did it delete from class info? Yeah, because it's one email, guys. It doesn't get repeated. It's just pointers to that email. For those of you who take my photos class, or, you know, as we keep going, this is different from files. Files, if you duplicate, you duplicate it, but it's similar to shortcuts where you're just pointing to it. So it being in a few different places doesn't mean that you have duplicated it. So it's not like if you delete it from archive, it'll stay in your class info. No, it's the one file that you nicely saved in your class info, and then you go delete it from archive. Well, guess what? It got extracted from there. It got extracted from everywhere, and it's a goner email. Okay. So the archive you can't delete from if you have stored it in a different way. But if you haven't stored it in a different way, then it lives there. So in the case of my husband, that would be where he'd find all the stuff that he hasn't deleted. In the case of me, I'll just find it in my inbox, because it's basically, for me, it replicates my inbox. But for people who are very tidy and who have emptied their inbox, they'll find anything that they haven't classified yet. It'll be in their all archive. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, let me undo that. I can't undo that. Let me just do this again. Let me go to another SPCC teacher. Okay, Creative Fabrica from 9:15 yesterday, okay? Creative Fabrica from yesterday. I'm going to put it also in class info. So it's not in my inbox anymore.
Deanna, your audio's off.
Okay, can you hear me again? Can you hear me again?
Yes.
Okay. So I just got that Creative Fabrica from yesterday, 9:15 a.m. I put it in a special mailbox. So it's not in my inbox anymore. Clearing out my inbox for cleanliness purposes, that's great. But I still see it in my archive, and there it is, yesterday, 9:15 a.m. Okay. So this time we know already, I just showed you that if I delete it from archive, it leaves my inbox, it leaves my class info. Now let me delete it from class info. And I delete it from class info. If I go to my archive, it's not here. It was called Creative Fabrica because it's gone. It's one email. Every place you're seeing it, it's the one email that is got pointers to it. And it's the one email that if it's gone no matter where you put it. Yeah, it's the one email that if you delete, no matter where you delete it from. Once deleted, always deleted. Where is it though? It is in my trash, right? So in my trash, I would still find it. So I put so many things in the trash. There it is. It's in my trash. Creative Fabrica yesterday at 9:15. And the deposit photos from 9 a.m. It's still in my trash. So I've just moved it from my mailbox to another. And now I would have to delete my trash for it to really leave my computer. Okay? Archives is equivalent to inbox, which again, as I said, for me, for the way I use email, it's superfluous. For other people, it might be useful. Just because of it. There you go. Yeah. It's just a little bit, yeah. So that's what it is. Okay. Now, if I am organizing things, say, once again, I refer to my husband who has these important mailboxes where he puts the stuff that matters, the trash where he trashes things he doesn't want, and then the inbox. What if this one he wants to keep, but he doesn't have a mailbox for it? Okay, does that make sense? You do want to keep how to develop your photographic style, but you don't have a mailbox for that. But you want to clean up your inbox because you have this need to clean up your inbox. So what do? You archive it. That's how you get it off of the inbox. So it's a general archive. So it's like an unclassified mailbox, so to say. It's an all. So I can just drag it to my archive, right? Or I can right click and archive it. See that? Or I can even click on this thing to archive it, right? I don't, does it have an archive on the right or left? One of the choices, yeah, I told you, you can kind of choose what you put in there. And one of the choices could be archive. In this case, it's not my, it doesn't appear in this one, so I can archive it that way. So I'm going to archive it. So now it's not in my inbox, but it's not in one of my mailboxes. It's been archived. So that's how you end up emptying out your inbox in a slightly fishy way. You just put them in the archive so they're not there visible, but you still have them all.
And you can search by before or before.
Yeah, so I think that was Steve Arnold. It was Steve Arnold, and there it is, how to develop your photographic style. Where is it? It's in my archive. See that? Yeah. And that is just for, I've been working inside of this one because it's my sample thing where I don't care if I lose any of this or not. So I use that one because I don't want to play around with my pipeline because I might lose stuff. I've done that before where I was like, oh, look at this example. And next thing you know, it's gone. I'm like, aha, I needed that email. So that's why I use this one, but you can do it from any of the emails that you have. Okay. Okay. I see a couple of questions. Yes, Mary Jean. And I'm aware that we only have a few more minutes. I'm gonna stop my share for a bit to give us all a break. But
If I go to the column on my left and it has all inboxes, when I search for something, then it gives me all inboxes and it also gives me all mailboxes.
yeah, because it's exactly why, because what if I took something out of my inbox by archiving it, for example,
That's everything.
or by
Okay,
putting it in my taxes? So that's your all mailboxes
And that's
versus
why
all
when I-
inboxes.
okay, and that's why when I deleted a lot of stuff from all boxes, it deleted stuff I didn't need to delete. Okay, secondly, I understand how I could do Control A. I get a whole list of them and then I hit delete, Command A, delete. If I hit Command A and then hit Command and delete, that deletes them permanently, right?
Yeah, I try not to teach that because most people want to have a what if maybe,
No,
especially if you
okay.
did a Command A where you deleted everything. But yeah, there's a
Okay.
way to force it to go straight out of the the trash box. Yeah, if
Thank
want
you.
that. But if you like that one, listen to her again. If you don't, plug your ears, because the last thing I want is to give you a way to permanently delete everything in one
No,
fell
no,
swoop
no, don't do it.
and never be able to correct that mistake. So I prefer it to go into my mailbox and then to wait. Now, is there a way to change the behavior of these mailboxes? Yes. And I know there's one more question there, Blast, but give me a second. I'm going to share my entire screen. And remember, I told you that there's a settings here where you make changes for mail. So I'm going to go to settings and I can choose how these accounts behave and what gets deleted and what gets searched. If I do a search here, for example, it says include mails from the trash, which is a good idea because what if I trash something that I'm searching for? So it still searches for it there. But I could also say include from junk because what if it got mistakenly sent to junk or stuff like that? So that's your choice. But one of these is to delete my mail once it's been read or once a week, or let me figure out which one it was. Viewing. I don't know exactly where it is right now, but one of these is to delete after a certain amount of time. So hold on. Automatically try sending again, follow-up suggestions. Oh, I hadn't told you about follow-up suggestions. That's a new one, by the way. That now, and I haven't shown all of this, and I'm almost out of time. I wanted to show you this on the phone because it's the same, but it looks a bit different, of course. But there's a new thing called follow-up suggestions that I like and I hate. which is say that you said, oh, I'll send you this next week. AI pays attention to that, and then it puts it at the top of the list, kind of like the remind me, but IA does it and says, follow-up suggestions to remind me that I haven't followed up. It can tell that I've never emailed back. My problem is that if I have emailed it back, but with a new email, instead of in the thread, like it's happening to me. There's a suggestion that it keeps telling me you have to send this, and I already did, but I created a new email, so it keeps popping up in my follow-up. So I'm not too happy with it. But on the other hand, it has reminded me, oh, someone mentioned they couldn't do this or whatever, and you haven't followed up with them. So that you could turn that feature on and off, and you can turn here in your favorites, you could turn on the follow-up feature. So here you go, I just turn it on, and the follow-up, it's empty right now, but later if I say something like, I'll send this to you, or, you know, or someone asks you a question and you haven't, the email can tell that you haven't replied. It'll pop it up here and it'll say follow up. Right now it's not there because I just enabled it, but you can do that. Anyway, but I'm looking for I'm looking for the settings where it tells you when to delete it, and I'm having an issue with finding it right now. Here, mailbox behaviors, here it is. So you go to accounts, where you have all the 4 accounts, right? So here's my 4 accounts. Oh, by the way, notice to your question, Kristen, this is telling me that all the accounts I have are IMAPs, but I wouldn't know if AOL, because I don't have an AOL, whether AOL is an iPop or not. It's probably most modern emails.
Yeah,
are
you know
iPops.
what? You were really helpful. You gave me the terms I needed to Google the question, and I
Oh.
was able to figure it out.
And you found the answer. Okay,
Yeah,
great. Well,
yeah,
and is
thank-
it an iPop or an iPad?
It's an IMAP, and I knew that, but I just didn't know how to ask the
Okay,
question.
good.
Yeah, thank
Now,
you.
Under this account, so when you said this is mail settings, okay? And there's so many different settings. If you go to accounts and you choose a particular account, in here you can tell it what you want it to do. And in this case, you can tell it to, so I'm going to go to my junk email, for example, right? Which is my Yahoo. And I'm going to go to mailbox behaviors. And I'm going to say to trash, erase deleted messages, never, so they accumulate, or yeah, anything I've already deleted, delete after 1 month or after 1 week or after 1 day or the moment I quit email. See that? So then you don't have to have those full delete boxes. It's similar to the trash where we can, but you can tell it for each of your accounts. Like my junk email is so unimportant that I'm going to say right now, erase junk messages after 1 week, right? Or no, junk. By junk, I can say after 1 day. I don't care because they're junk, but say that it's deleted a message. A deleted message I might want to hang out for a month just in case. It's not that I can't go in and delete them today, but I know that at this point, if I go to my Yahoo email, I won't have like 10,000 emails waiting for me there that I've deleted that I forgot to eliminate. After a month, they'll go. Okay. Now, you can choose what you want to happen. So I'm never going to erase stuff from Pipeline. I want to erase them myself. As a teacher, I don't care. So on this one, I'm going to tell it to erase after 1 month. Now, I'm not going to do that here because I teach with this one and I want to have stuff there to teach you. Okay. So I'm not going to do it, but I highly recommend doing that because yeah, you don't want things to accumulate there forever because how many times are you going to remember to go to your trash and your email? Yeah. So anyway, that's what that one is. Okay. So that's each account. You choose what you want to happen to your trash. Junk is, I have it. Shoot, it's time to stop. I'm not going to teach you what junk is. I wanted to show you my phone. Let me just really quickly in a second. And this is just for those of you who want to play between Wednesday and Monday for the same, to see what I've been showing you, because normally I parallel show on the computer and on the mail, but you guys all have really good questions and we've been dealing with all this. So I haven't really shown you on the phone at all. So give me a quick second to show it to you. And if you need to go, please go, but then just watch the recording for the last, 5 minutes for this piece, because it does matter. So here I go. I'm going to go to my mail, to the mail the mail looking, the one with the blue with the white envelope. This is the app that we're talking about. I'm going to click on the mailbox and I'm in some kind of a message right now. So to get out of it, I have to go to this arrow to walk out. And here I am in which inbox? In just my iCloud inbox. You see that? I'm not in all inboxes. What if I want to see all my inboxes? I click in there again. And here I am in my, so it's like I had 3 columns. Basically, I was inside of an email. I went to the middle and now I'm on the left column. It's my 3 columns that I've been talking about. So here is my all inboxes, right? So if I click on all inboxes, I'm seeing all my
Hey,
emails
everyone.
one after the other.
I'm going
And
to
in
explain
fact,
to you how to get to the class handouts and
someone's turning on there. Okay. So there's that remind me that I set, that I told you. And then I had told you guys, and this one is another remind me I had set a little bit earlier to pop in an hour. And there it is. It popped in there in an hour, right? Which means that if I go back to my mailboxes, I shouldn't see a remind me anymore, which before I had a remind me with 1. I hadn't shown it to you. It's been used up. The reminder has arrived. So now I don't see that remind me mailbox anymore because it sent me the reminder. Okay. And now I'm seeing my all inboxes. Okay. And if I now want to go to just see SBCC teacher, there I am. But what if I want to go down, remember, to just SBCC teacher and see all the choices? I can go down here. And here is my inbox for just a suite, for my junk for just, so you see what I mean? It's exactly the same thing of what I've been showing you on the computer, but you need to see one column at a time. So if I choose to see only the inbox for SBCC teacher, then I'm in SBCC teacher. And here I have my primary, here I have my stuff. So what if I need to Nathan Barry shouldn't be primary. So I'm going to click and hold, and then down here, or recategorize it, click and, or do I recategorize? I have my phone set up different. I think it's not under click and hold. If I click and hold, I have choices like mark, move message, but I don't have the recategorize there. I thought I did, but I don't, but I can archive it. So I move to the right, to the left and move to the left, and I have to go to more. And then here I can categorize this as an update, for example, or a promotion, whatever. And I say continue. And now my Nathan Barry will be there under categorize, under promote updates. Okay. If I want to go to the all mail, the one that was hiding in person here, I would have to push over a little bit, and there it is. That's all my mail. But other than that, this is primary, transactions, updates, and promotions. I venture to say, try this categorization between here and next Monday. For those of you who've been like, oh, I don't want to try it from here next Monday. If you don't like it, you can always go back up to this little guy and go back to list view, and it goes away. This is how you've seen it forever, or go to these 3 dots and go back to categorize. Okay. And that way you can choose whether you like it, because at first it's never perfect. It needs you to categorize it. Okay. So anyway, that's it. That's it. Everything we've talked about today is here. If there's anything in here you didn't see today and that you want to know about, and I know I haven't covered things like VAP, flag. There's other things to cover, but what we've covered, you can do just as well on the phone as you did on the computer. Okay. So thanks to you guys for staying an extra 3 minutes. What?
Diana.
Oh, Blas
Thank
had a
you.
question. I missed it.
Have a nice weekend.
Okay. All right, guys, work on all of this. Okay. So you have questions, successes and non-successes, right? I want you to say this worked, but I also want you to try it so that you can tell me what didn't work for you. And I'll see you guys on Monday.
Have a good weekend.
Okay. Bye. You too.
Bye.